got you, now you're missed.
I'm here.
I'm here too.
And that's it.
What's
that's
up,
it.
guys?
No one else.
Yep, just us. Just us.
By the way, both Dalton and I are losing our voices from doing these shows for you all the time.
Yep.
So I just want everybody to know we love you. And we're also way too damn stubborn to not, do these shows because there's just too much important stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, dude.
Today was probably one of the crazier news days, especially with what you sent me before the stream.
Dude, isn't that nuts?
Oh, God. Here's the thing. It's both speculation, but at the same time, it's not speculation because it's a congressman who said it, so it's not really speculation. But then also it makes us speculate more because then we don't know what's speculating, who's speculating what. So there's still speculation involved until Monday when there's lack of speculation. But then they're going to lie on stands, so then there's going to be more speculation. And then I'm going to need drugs.
Yeah, I mean, that's one conclusion to it, I guess.
Yes.
Yes. So I just wanted to point out real quick, while the stream was counting down, I kept pausing the music. And I'm sure everybody was wondering why the music is stopping. It's because I had earlier in the day, like hours ago, when I was setting up the stream, I had the YouTube tab open. And so when I clicked play, I could hear it in StreamYard. And then I had the tab open in the background. And so the stream automatically started playing. And so I started hearing the music twice. And I'm like, oh, that's got to be a glitch. So I paused the music and then I would keep hearing it. I'm like, oh, okay, that's it. And then that would stop. And I'm like, uh-oh. So I'd play the music again. And then I'd hear it loop. So
it was you.
It was me. It was all me. Yeah. That was
okay. All right. So it was you.
New system, trying to get it all squared away.
Fair. Yes.
Yep.
Now, I guess the biggest news is the announcement for Biden, correct?
Yeah, well, it's not really a formal announcement yet.
Not a formal.
It's just like
it's a report.
Reported. Basically, it's the behind the scenes reports that are leaking out now, and
we've had them since last night, by the way.
Yep.
Tell them start with the Kamala Trump one. That's the one that needs to.
Which one?
So first off, Nancy Pelosi, how she was saying to not Kamala Trump, Kamala Biden.
I was gonna say, what are you talking about?
No, the how Nancy Pelosi was saying to Biden, hey, you're not gonna get this, you're not gonna win this. All the data says you're not gonna win this. Yep. And then Biden going, but potatoes, and then.
Yeah, I guess Kamala's team was, telling Biden's team that there's no way he can win the election. Biden was denying it. He said, he believes he has a strong chance to winning it. And, he was asked, he was asking like, hey, our data shows that, I can win this. And Kamala's team was basically saying no. Pelosi was acting as a liaison for all the, kind of Congress people, and the Democratic congressmen and women in the House. And so basically all of them were trying to say, nope, you can't win, Biden. You need to step aside. Yeah. And so now it's being reported that Biden is likely to drop out of the race as soon as this weekend, perhaps Sunday, and that he will not be resigning. And he will also not be endorsing Kamala Harris. Instead, they're going to hold a open convention for the DNC,
which is
since I believe the 60s, late 60s.
So it has been forever.
It is shaping up to be, the DNC is going to be a very wild ride, and it's going to be very fun to cover.
No, and not only that, but also on top of all of that with an open convention, right? We don't even know, because right now, like, here's the thing with the Republican primaries and stuff, right? We knew who was involved, right? You had a pretty good idea. It's like, oh, Nikki Haley, Vivek, DeSantis, Trump, right? So on and so forth.
They all fought for the delegates. They all fought for
the delegates,
the primaries and everything. And so that's how that went. With an open convention,
it could be anyone.
All the people who voted in the primary, that it's basically null now. It's null and void. And so an open convention means people can go to the convention that represents their states, and they can vote directly in there for whoever they want. Now, my understanding in the DNC and RNC have different rules, but from my understanding, very basic, limited understanding of the DNC rules, and they often change because they often break them. However, my understanding is the first ballot, no super delegates can vote. So if nobody wins on the first ballot, then the superdelegates have a chance to vote.
And who is one of the superdelegates, Dalton? Do you know her name?
Oh, Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, it's a particular witch that everybody despises. Hillary Clinton is a superdelegate. I just want everybody. I think Bernie Sanders as well.
I want to say so, which I think is very ironic given the fact that she stole the nomination from him.
From Bernie. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I think she carried more votes, right? Because they're not all equal. I don't think all superdelegates are equal.
It's been so long. I wanted to take a nap 30 minutes before we started streaming. I'm very tired. I'm also, my voice, as you guys can probably hear, I did not sleep well last night. I'm running on a 5-hour energy that I took well past 5 hours ago. So here we are.
What time did you go to bed?
Probably like 2:33, I think.
I went to bed at 9
in the morning. Yeah, that explains why all the breaking news that happened throughout the day, and I would send it to you, and then you wouldn't respond until later in the day.
Yeah. I went to bed at 9, and then I woke up at, I think, 11:15.
You know, up until now, I thought I had a worse sleeping schedule than anyone I knew. Not anymore.
No. Now he's met me. Now that we're friends, he's like, holy hell, this man literally does run on drugs. Yeah. So, by the way, good evening, everybody. Welcome once again to Insanity Developing. My name is Tactical Turtleneck. I'm a weird dude who makes cryptid videos on the internet. That's who I am. Dalton, who are you?
I am a web developer and I guess now a podcaster, whatever you call it.
I like podcast person. It sounds just better. I don't know.
It sounds better. That's a weird.
It doesn't sound as pretentious.
I guess. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But yeah, I mostly do web development and I play music. So that's basically me.
I also play music. It's why Dalton and I are friends.
Yeah, one of the many reasons.
Part of the reason.
Yeah. Quick shout out. The intro song in the beginning, you made that. I didn't even know you were making that. That was a surprise to me. Like I heard it for the first time with all of you guys.
I've been working on it ever since the day of.
Right.
It's just a little, how would I put it? Reminder that the stupid little soy boy missed his intended target and will burn in hell, and that we should follow Trump's lead by fighting for our values and fighting for proper, I guess, dialogue now, especially because that's out the window for the past how many ever fucking years, where dialogue hasn't even been a thing. It's just been you're a Nazi or you're a this or you're a that. It's much like I don't like the idea that you're saying, oh, fight like the whole, like I've heard people online very saying like, oh, civil war. Here's the thing. Civil war is an abhorrent thing. It's sometimes needed. I'm not saying it's not, but it is.
My God, I hope it never happens again.
It's deadliest war in the United States history. We are very effective at killing ourselves, but you want to believe that it's at least fight for values, tradition, and the Constitution. That's what I believe it is, and that is what inspired it. That and a slight cocaine addiction and a wee bit too much Dr. Pepper and sleeping with my wife. That'll do it. That'll do it.
Yeah. So the tweet I sent you.
Yes,
right before we went live, like literally like 4 or 5, or it was probably more like 10 minutes before we went live. Pretty nuts, man. You want to talk about that?
You want me to bring it up?
Yeah, sure. Go for it.
Okay, I will bring it up. Okay, so
I sent it to Tack right before we went live, and I said, "Hey, you're gonna shit yourself when you read this."
Yes, and,
he's like,
and I did.
All right, whatever. And then he started reading it, and then he stopped. I'm like,
he's shitting himself. Shitting himself.
That's him.
So, Rep Michael Waltz. So this is from a United States representative. Okay. Breaking: Trump shooter Thomas Crooks had 3 encrypted overseas accounts.
Whoa.
So Rep Waltz did not comment further and said more will be learned Monday during the House hearing. Now, this plays into what a lot of people have been saying is either it is another country that is trying to pay for this to have happened, or the JFK CIA theory.
Hey, Tack, real quick. How many 20-year-olds do you know who has one overseas encrypted bank account?
I don't know any 20-year-olds.
Okay. Do you know anyone like in their 20s?
Yes.
With an overseas encrypted bank account?
No, they're all poor.
Okay. Yeah. He didn't just have one. Apparently, he didn't just have
three.
Two, but
three. Not only that, but also we don't know how much was in it.
And we don't know. I mean, I don't know how I don't know how any of that stuff really works. I just have a basic limited understanding of it, to be honest with you.
But here's the thing. If it was just that, right? Like with everything, if it was just this, you could say, okay, right? Or if it was just this, you could say, all right. No. It's the bank accounts. It's the fact that he had hooked up an explosive device to his vehicle to attempt to, I believe that the intent was to distract the Secret Service with that.
So let me ask you this, though.
With no bomb-making experience. Just want to
I was literally about to bring that up. It's like, okay, you don't know any 20-year-olds. I honestly, I mean, I'm in my 20s, so I guess you know me. But I'm not 20.
Fair, yeah.
I'm in my 20s. Barely anymore. But what I was gonna say is, like, to make bombs, that requires the level of chemistry similar to like the Breaking Bad series.
Well, okay,
like
so
very precise chemistry. Like you have to be in an environment. You have to know at least some stuff on, and like you can't make it by yourself in a house living with your parents.
Yes, you can. And this is, but that's why I said if it was just one thing, I could understand. But the totality of the things is what makes me think otherwise now. And so the reason I say that is there's a particular cookbook that I'm not going to say I might have copies of, but it is available. It is free speech for people to obtain
only.
For educational purposes only.
Like this.
But at the same time, these kind of things are not difficult to make. I think that a lot of people overthink the difficulty of a lot of it.
Could you make enough explosives to go under the radar living in a house with like, more than one or two other people?
Probably. It depends on, we don't know what his home life was like. We don't know if his parents were neglectful or constantly busy. I believe both of them were social workers, so they could have been very busy. We don't know those things.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, had I maybe wanted to dabble in a couple things that I ought not have, I sure as fuck could have, but I was also I was a neglected child. We'll say that.
I'll say this. I find it really unlikely that he was able to do that stuff by himself.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't think that he could get away with that. I mean, think about it. Like, this is the biggest, like breach in Secret Service security that we know of in the last 50 years. I mean, since Reagan.
Okay, yes, but see, the reason that I said that I'm going to at least give the benefit of the doubt on that specific one is because one of my friends, he makes his own pew pew parts and stuff like that, perfectly legal in his state. No CIA, no ATF. You're never going to get it out of me. My sources are classified on this. But anyway, his wife didn't know that he does those things for 3 fucking years. And they lived in a single apartment together.
Yeah,
so,
I don't know. It's weird.
So I just want you to know, there's just also people that are just blissfully unaware of what's going on around them.
Yeah. I'm very much somebody who, I have no idea how to make any of that. I've never really cared to. I'm a web developer, if I haven't made that clear. I work in code. I like code. That's my world, I I've done some hacks before, not anything too specific or sophisticated or anything, but some cool hacks that, you know, like websites and stuff here and there. I'm not going to reveal what I did or anything, but I mean, it's educational for the most part, and you learn how to reverse engineer things and everything. So I mean, like, I've dabbled in my own kind of stuff, but like nothing like bomb making or anything.
Well,
That's
no,
wild.
yeah, no, but
like-
that's the thing. Like with the internet, we do live in an age of information where anything good,
Sure.
bad, ugly is available to pretty much everybody. It's just a matter of where you look and who you talk to.
Yeah. Okay. So we talked about the bomb stuff real quick. Let's zoom out real quick. All right.
Zoom back out.
All right. So dude had bombs, apparently.
Yes.
Bomb making materials, at least at the bare minimum.
Well, bomb making materials at his home, I believe, in
Right.
an actual explosive device in his vehicle was the
Yep,
report.
And then he was found with a detonator, remote detonator on his body.
Yep.
And a cell phone. Now, it also was revealed that he had a second cell phone at his house with apparently 27 contacts in it. So,
yeah, burner phone.
So, all right, we have a burner phone with 27 contacts in it, and we have 3 overseas encrypted bank accounts.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Do you want to, like, when are we going to start putting on? We need to, like, really make a show where we just put tinfoil hats on. When we
want me to go get some tinfoil? Because I do have some.
I'm out of tinfoil right now, so I can't.
Damn.
Unfortunately, or else I would. But
that's what I'm saying. It's the totality of it.
Yeah, the totality of it. It's starting to shape out as like, I don't know. This doesn't really seem like a lone wolf. This is starting to look a little bit bigger. Now, I will tell you this. I've been losing my mind all day today with this second shooter theory on the water tower. I don't subscribe to it.
I don't subscribe to that theory either.
And the reason why is because I've looked at so many videos just with the water tower and everything. I've looked at videos that are like steel and that are like hyper focused on the water tower. And everybody's pointing out like there's some weird shadows that are moving. And, you know, at first, one person, I read a comment, it was just like, it looks like somebody's rappelling off the water tower at this, right after the shooting and everything. And I'm like zooming in, I'm like, that's the star. Like, so if you look in Google Maps, you can actually go to the parking lot of it and you can look using Google Maps. You can look right up to the water tower and it literally has a star and it has some text on it. But like that star is what everybody's thinking of because when their phones are so far away and they're, videotaping the, everything and it's so far away and then they zoom in, what happens is interpolation. Now, if anybody's watched the Kyle Rittenhouse trial at length, every moment, every second of that trial, like I have, there was the video interpolation thing that came out almost near the end of the trial. And what was being argued was the defense was arguing that the prosecution, when they enhanced the video, they used some software that did an algorithm. And it basically created pixels that weren't blanks. It creates pixels that weren't originally there. And what it does is it takes the pixels around it and it guesses, right? So it uses an algorithm that, when you zoom in on something and you're basically creating pixels that aren't originally there. So you're digitally altering the video, right? And so when you do that, the algorithm tries to make guesses of what it thinks is there. And so when you zoom in far enough and when you play it back, there's going to be digital artifacts in the pixels, right? And so when that happens, the prosecution was trying to argue that he had his gun pointed a certain way when he really didn't. This is the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. Now, the defense pretty much successfully argued that that's BS. And so much so that it was actually really funny because Binger and I can't remember the other guy's name, but I remember him as Lunchbox. I remember as Lunchbox because he was so big.
He was a big dude.
A very big dude. When he was giving the presentation, he exited out of the video and the list of applications, it had handlebars or something. I don't remember.
I can't remember.
Apparently it was a video software that you can use that they were arguing like, hey, there's applications that anybody can use. And it would basically, be used to, the algorithms are in place to create the interpolation. Right. So the defense or the prosecution was arguing up and down. They were willing to die on the hill that they did not touch that video. But there was an application on Lunchbox's computer that could alter video. So it was like, that's really fishy. It went so far as the judge was willing to call the prosecution and the defense on the stand and question them, because the judge was like, we're getting to the bottom of this if we absolutely
handbrake. Sorry, Chad is saying it.
Thank you, Chad.
But the point being is that's what this shooter, this circumstance,
bring it back to this scenario. So when you zoom in far enough on the water tower, you're going to see things that aren't real. You're going to see things that you think are there that aren't. Now, people are like, oh, well, it's not the star that we're talking about. It's on top of the water tower. Okay, you zoom in there, same scenario, a little dark spot that, waves back and forth. First of all, it's a windy day, right? You can tell by the flag, the American flag that's waving. You can tell that it was fairly windy. Right before Trump went on to speak, because I was watching this live, right, on Saturday. Right before Trump went on to speak, the flag actually got messed up, and it was actually in the shape of an angel. Yeah. Well,
to me, it looked more like an eagle, personally.
Okay, either way. I mean,
America.
Yeah. So I remember everybody was like, we need to fix that flag before Trump gets here, right? And that was about maybe 20 minutes before Trump arrived. And so they fixed the flag before Trump got there and everything. But it was a windy day. So my point was, all the cameras that are, still static or whatever and fixated on the entire event. And then when people zoom into that thing, the wobbles and everything and the wind and everything on the tripod of the camera and everything.
By the way, really quick, do we want to watch Hulk Hogan's speech?
Yeah, is that up?
It's just starting now. All
right, give me 1 second. Let me wrap this up. Pause it real quick.
Okay, I've got it paused.
Okay. My whole entire point was you're going to see things that aren't there. And then they were trying to argue, okay, well, it's behind the tree. It's like on that railing. It's like those are the trees. It's a windy day. It's going to move back and forth, right? Yeah. So to wrap this entire thing up, I don't subscribe to the second shooter theory, at least on the water tower. I do think that the bullets did come from, at this moment, with all that I've seen, I do think that it came from
the direction
rifle, from what I've seen so far. So that's where I'm at right now with it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe things will change as facts come out.
Well, but Monday we're gonna probably get quite a bit more. Not necessarily information, but we're going to get a lot of redacted bullshit and a lot of non-answers that also answer questions.
We're going to get more questions. Yep. All right. Yeah. I'm ready for Hulk Hogan. Send it.
Hulk Hogan. 165. There we go. How's the volume, everybody? Is it good?
I think so.
I always forget that Hulk Hogan's Republican.
I didn't even know.
Really? I know Goldberg is.
I don't know who Goldberg is. I don't follow WWE or whatever this is.
Neither do I.
Okay.
But Goldberg's also friends with like Donut.
Brother. Can you turn it up a little?
You know something? When I came here tonight, there was so much energy in this room. I felt maybe I was in Madison Square Garden getting ready to win another world title. Or maybe I thought the vibe was so intense, the energy was so crazy, it felt like maybe I was going to press that no-good, stinky giant over my head and slam him through the mat, brother. But what I found out was I was in a room full of real Americans, brother.
Well, and apparently Undertaker is as well.
With our leader up there, my hero, that gladiator, we're gonna bring America.
I always forget
together.
Trump was in like did WWE stuff, so it actually makes more sense now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Like they know him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know something? I've seen some great tag teams in my time. Hulk Hogan and ooh yeah, the Macho Man Randy Savage. But you know something? I see the greatest tag team of my life standing upon us, getting ready to straighten this country out for all the real Americans.
This RNC is so nuts. I just want to point that out with the variety of speakers.
You know you guys are real Americans. You want to know
what I like about it?
You better get ready.
Like the traditional conservative
because
speaker.
When Donald
it's literally everybody else.
becomes
it's culture.
president of the United States.
It came from culture.
All the real Americans are going to be nicknamed Trumpites because
Let's get some hell yeah, brother, in the chat.
Trumpites are going to be running wild for 4 years. So with the power of Donald J. Trump and all the Trumpites running wild, America is going to get back on track. And like Donald J. Trump said, America is going to be great again.
It's so weird, but I love it.
You know, when I look out and I see all the real Americans,
will never be at school.
I think about how Donald Trump, his family was compromised. When I look out there and I see Donald Trump, I think about how his business was compromised. But what happened last week when they took a shot at my hero? And they tried to kill the next president of the United States. Enough was enough. And I said, let Trump-a-mania run wild, brother.
For everybody listening on audio, he's ripping off his shirt, and it really had Trump on the flag, and then he ripped it off to the Trump shirt. It's amazing. You guys got to watch it if you guys are listening on audio. You guys got to pull it up on YouTube. It's amazing. Now, I hope Trump rips off his bandage on his ear when right before
I hope so, too.
I hope so. Fingers crossed, man. He's an entertainer. He'll do it. Give the people what they want.
How nuts is it that Hogan gave a great speech?
Yeah, right. It is nuts.
You know something, Trumpites? I didn't come here as Hulk Hogan, but I just had to give you a little taste. You know, my name is Terry Bollea. And as an entertainer, I love you too. And as an entertainer, I tried to stay out of politics. But after everything that's happened to our country over the past 4 years and everything that happened last weekend, I can no longer stay silent.
You might not care about politics, but politics cares about
we'll
you.
Always care about you.
I'm here tonight because I want the world to know that Donald Trump is a real American hero. And I'm proud to support my hero as the next president of this United States.
This is awesome. I'm sorry.
You know, guys, I've known Donald Trump for over 35 years. You know, hold on a second. Hold on. I just had a flashback. Man. This is really tripping. You know, the last time I was up on stage, Donald Trump was sitting at ringside at the Trump Plaza. I was bleeding like a pig, and I won the world title right in front of Donald J. Trump. And you know something? He's going to win in November, and we're all going to be champions again when he wins. And like I said, I've known that man for over 35 years, and he's always been the biggest patriot, and he still is. He's always told you exactly what he thought, and he still does, brother. And no matter the odds, he always finds a way to win. And when he's
Hogan
back
a
in our
stoner?
White
He
House,
probably,
America is going to start winning again.
I don't give a shit. I'm pro weed. I don't smoke it. But by all means, the man's 70. Let him smoke.
Trump's been like famous, like well before I was.
Guys, over my career, I've been in the ring with some of the biggest,
famous since he was young,
some of the baddest dudes on the planet, and I've squared off against warriors, savages, and I've even, like I said, body slammed giants in the middle of the ring. And I know tough guys, but let me tell you something, brother. Donald Trump is the toughest of them all.
I'm going to text Mephisto. Mephisto loves WWE, so.
Nice.
They've thrown everything at Donald Trump. All the investigations, the impeachments, the court cases, and he's still standing and kicking their butts.
That's true. He's up, by the way, he's up plus 12 or 13 in Ohio.
Than the Trump years.
Yeah.
Back then, we had a thriving economy. We had strong borders. We had safe streets. We had peace and respect around the world. But then we lost it all in a blink of an eye. Crime is out of control. The border is out of control. The price of food and gas and housing is out of control. And the only person who can clean this up is Donald Trump. You know, guys, I really, really love this country. And I've lived the American dream. And I want my kids, your kids, and all those little teeny Hulkamaniacs out there to live the American dream too. This November, guys, we can save the American dream for everyone. And Donald Trump is the president who will get the job done.
Agreed.
So all you criminals, all you lowlifes, all you scumbags, all you drug dealers, and all you crooked politicians need to answer one question, brother. What you gonna do when Donald Trump and all the Trumpomaniacs run wild on you, brother?
Oh my God.
God bless you and thank you.
Did you see the video of the little kid like doing the Hulk Hogan impression with him, and they're going back and forth together?
You see Trump
so
just blew him a kiss?
Yes. So wholesome.
You can tell that they're friends. You can tell they're friends.
Oh yeah.
He's 70, dude. I just had to look it up.
Gentlemen, please welcome the president and CEO of the Billy Graham Evangelistic Association and president of Samaritan's Purse, the Reverend Franklin Graham.
Oh, it's a reverend. Want me to turn this down now while we wait? Or we want to listen to...
We can listen to it. I mean, we're covering the RNC today.
Yeah,
so,
yep.
Why not?
That was an amazing speech by Hulk Hogan.
It was great.
Definitely one of the better ones so far.
Good evening.
You kind of wish that we watched the Tucker Carlson one right before.
Fair.
Yeah.
I've got the hardest job tonight. I have to follow Hulk Hogan.
That is
here tonight
so bad on it. He's
as a
probably read the
private
list and was
citizen
like, no.
who loves this country. I've been asked to say a few words and then to pray, and we're going to do that.
Oh, guys, watch out. The
Last
media's going to
Saturday-
say he's sleeping again.
In Butler, Pennsylvania,
Quick, Trump, wake up.
President Trump had a near-death experience.
You could call it
No
that.
question. But God spared
technically-
his life.
More, I feel like a little bit more than that. I mean, it wasn't a
When
near-death
we go through
experience. That was a
those
very near-death experience.
Yeah.
It changes us. It can cause us to examine our lives and to reevaluate our priorities, as you should. When President Trump rose from that platform, he rose with his fist raised in strength, showing America his unshakable resolve to fight for them in this nation. I cannot explain why God would save one life and allow another one to be taken. I don't have the answer for that. But one thing I do know is that God loves us, and he wants us to be with him in heaven one day. And that's through faith in his son, Jesus Christ. You see, the Bible says that God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever believeth in him shouldn't perish, but should have everlasting life. For as long as I've known the President Trump, I've found him to be a man of his word. Things that he said he'll do, he did. When he told me and our country in 2016 that he was going to appoint conservative justices, Guess what? He did.
He did that. Yep.
In
Imagine seeing the
2016,
Supreme
he
Court
said
vote
he would
all the
defend
federal
religious
courts.
liberty. And guess what? He did.
Your mic's coming in now, by the
I
way.
was with him at the United
Oh, it is?
Nations when
Yeah.
the first president of history of this country stood there to advocate for religious liberty worldwide. When American citizen and Pastor Andrew Brunson was being held in a Turkish jail on false accusations, President Trump demanded that he be released. And he applied economic pressure and sanctions until they did that.
Well, going back to the Gaza hostage thing, you know.
I'm grateful and
Nothing.
thankful for what he did as a 45th president of the United States. And I know that as the 47th president, he will keep his word to the American people to make America great once again.
So I don't think this is a prayer. I think this is just him speaking for a local community leader, right?
It's an honor
Yeah, from what I gather,
for
yeah.
me to be asked
Yeah.
to pray
Now it's a prayer.
for Donald Trump this evening.
Yeah.
And so what I'd like to do, I'd like us to pray, but I'd like us all to stand as we call upon the name of the God of heaven.
Trump is not
Ooh.
sleeping. He is praying.
And not only that, he's
Our
asking
Heavenly
him to
Father.
stand now.
We come before you this evening with grateful hearts. Thank you for saving the life of President Donald J. Trump. In his own words, it was you and you alone who saved him. We pray for the others that were injured on Saturday, for the family who lost their loved one. Put your loving arms around them. Comfort them, and may they sense your presence. We stand before you tonight. We say thank you for the provisions you have given to the United States of America. You have blessed this country more than any country in the world. Sadly, as a nation, we have forgotten who is responsible for all the freedoms, the liberties, and the bounty that we enjoy. It has all come for you. Thank you. This evening, our nation is in trouble. We're divided politically, racially, economically, with millions of people seeking refuge and hope in our dry and thirsty land. You're the only one who can fix the complexity of the problems that we face today. We pray for President Trump that you would give him wisdom, strength, and a clear vision for the future of this nation and the task that is at hand. Continue to protect him from his enemies. I pray that you would surround him with men and women who will give him sound counsel and guidance. We pray for Melania, for Barron, and for all the President Trump's children and grandchildren. We pray for Senator J.D. Vance, his wife Usa, along with their young family. We're thankful for his strong stand for defending life. As your word instructs, we also pray for the leaders of our nation, whether they're Republican, Democrat, or independent. We know that all authority comes from you. You are a great God, and we ask that if it be thy will that you will make America great once again. And we ask that you'll unite our hearts, bring us together, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And we pray this in the mighty name of my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. Amen.
I think this is like the most traditional prayer we've seen thus far, which is saying something as well.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome businessman and executive vice president of the Trump Organization, Eric Trump.
Eric Trump. Here we go. By the way, I might have just tweeted out a picture of Trump sleeping for CNN. I added them.
Pause it real quick. John Bolton just endorsed Mike Rogers for senator. Mike Rogers is running against Justin Amash for Senate in Michigan.
So Bolton's still a piece of shit.
So there's Bolton, who's yes, and then Mike Rogers is like intelligence, like deep state.
Okay. Well, that makes a lot of sense.
Now I will tell you this: Trump did miscalculate. He endorsed Mike Rogers as well over Justin Amash. Yep.
Well, because Justin's been critical of him, but that's because Justin's extraordinarily libertarian in principle. He's that libertarian.
He also voted against, or he voted for impeachment. So I think that was Trump's way of, not revenge, but kind of revenge.
Saying,
revenge.
why am I going to support you? Yeah,
right.
Fair.
Sorry, I just interrupted. You can go for it.
All righty.
Good evening, America.
Victory of all hall. Let's go.
8 years ago, my father sat our family down. He spoke of a nation in decline, of dreams slipping away, of a future endangered by failed leadership and broken promises. It was in that moment I knew my father had made a decision that would forever change our lives. We realized he had chosen to step into the arena, to fight for the soul of America. He decided to leave behind the comforts of an unbelievable business empire, to leave behind everything he had ever built, to answer the call to serve our nation. Unlike his predecessor, it was not a decision born out of necessity. Unlike the current president, it was not a decision that would enrich his family.
Opposite.
Rather, it was a decision made out of love for this country and a deep concern for America's future.
What a moment right there.
Yeah.
My father was clear it would not be easy.
You didn't see the screen.
That there would be a huge price to pay, and that
No,
the
I'm still
attacks
watching.
would be vicious.
I'm watching both, and I'm seeing
Looking
everything.
back, that was an understatement.
I'm just also looking up how much he was worth.
The sham impeachments.
You're a liar.
The efforts to
You trying to
destroy
get
an
the little
unbelievable
camera
company,
to do the thing?
A company that I run today.
What was Trump
The
doing?
efforts to cancel us, to silence
When the camera
him,
pointed
What,
at
with
him.
his son?
gag
Wasn't he
his
just
free
looking at him
speech,
saying
and
he
to
loves
drag
him?
through every radical
No?
left courthouse
Okay,
in
then I
America.
fucking saw something out of my
To
fucking
take
corner of my eye.
his
What was
Back me
he
up on
doing?
this chat. Back me up on this
Yet through it
chat.
all, he's shown unwavering
What was he doing
courage
then?
and determination.
Oh, Tech
Not just
not
in
paying
public,
attention. Thank you,
but in
Shell.
every
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm
private
looking at
conversation
how much he was
with
worth
me
before and
our
after.
family.
My bad. You know what? Fuck you. I'll go back. Let me see.
He stood tall, fueled not by personal ambition, but by a profound love for this country and a love
I think
for
it's too
all
close.
of you,
Nope.
There
the
we go.
American people.
I saw it. I
That
saw
man
it.
is my father.
Right there.
That man
Got
is the
grandkids.
45th president
Aw,
and soon
that's
to be
sweet.
47th
Hey, you
president
missed it.
I thought it.
of the United
Oh,
States.
my bad. I'm sorry. I missed somebody else's
That
children.
man is Donald J. Trump.
You missed a really nice moment, is what I'm saying. There you go.
I thought that I saw out of my fucking corner of my eye him mouthing "I love you." My bad. I'm looking up how much he was worth.
You just made that up.
No, I didn't.
Hashtag Dalton lies.
Wow.
Oh, somebody said
Hashtag
hashtag
Dalton
Dalton
lies.
lies.
I just need to know net worth.
Each time I've stood on this stage, America has been at a dire crossroads. In 2016, many people began to doubt the promise.
Notice how he wasn't sniffing the child's hair.
Fuck. Trump's
somebody
net
cited
worth. Trump's net worth dropped 700 million during the presidency.
It's a bit.
That's what I was looking up. I was looking that up. His net worth now has since rebounded, I think, because of the Truth Social stock. Yeah.
Yep.
Of America.
Taiwan,
Our
real
economy was
China.
struggling. Jobs were scarce. Our standing on the world stage was weak at best. Veterans were forgotten. Our military was in shambles.
I'm pinning
Our
that.
educational system was broken, ranked 30th in the world.
That's a
We
great
could
comment.
no longer tolerate
It
an
is.
inept administration that handed $150 billion to Iran, a country that chants death to America, or witness the continued attacks on our Constitution and our religious liberty. or see the disrespect shown to our unbelievable law enforcement officers who are being disarmed, defunded, and persecuted each and every day.
That's true.
He could no longer stand to see words like Christmas stripped from public use or the Pledge of Allegiance removed from our schools.
I'm anti-Pledge
My father
Allegiance.
saw potential where others
Yeah, we
saw
talked about
despair.
Yeah.
Donald Trump built the New York City skyline. He did so during a time
Partially true,
He
yeah.
did so during a time when businesses were turning away from the city he loved. Crime was rampant. The streets were dirty, but he had the Midas touch, and he turned
Also,
those streets
didn't
and
Trump give
neighborhoods into
away
gold.
his salary, his presidential
He faced
salary every year
challenge with
too?
tremendous vision and
To like
yeah,
a
I think every
charity,
quarter
right?
he-
As he
yeah,
did
every
during
quarter
the
he donated
2016 election,
something
he
new,
rolled up his
some new
sleeves.
charity or
He
something.
remained unapologetic. He did not care
Or
to be
group or
politically
organization.
correct.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he did. I know he did.
Yeah. Yeah, so he didn't accept presidential salary because he already
No.
had more money than he ever
why
needed.
would he?
He restored
Yeah.
The White House was kind of a
He
downgrade for him,
restored a
honestly.
voice to millions of Americans who had been ignored. He restored the
In terms of
American
living.
dream. Under my father's leadership, the economy climbed to record heights. Jobs were created at an unthinkable pace. Unemployment reached historic lows across all demographics.
True.
Wage growth soared. He cut taxes for hardworking families and businesses. He slashed regulations.
That
We
is
saw
right,
the
Darth Vader.
greatest
All but $1. He did have to.
401k
He was required
increase
to
in
be paid
American
$1 at
history.
least.
Oh, is that the rule?
I believe. I believe I heard that a long time ago too.
Oh, okay.
People bought their first homes in an environment that saw 2 to 3% interest rates. They started their families. My father made the United States energy independent with the lowest gas prices in decades.
Yes. I remember my truck was
My father
easy to
made
fill.
the United States safe. Our borders were closed. There was peace in the Middle East. Soleimani, al-Baghdadi, the terrorists were dead.
Salary.
My father made the United States respected again, with the courage to walk into countries like North Korea, with the courage to impose tariffs on China, and with the courage to tear up trade deals that cost Americans their jobs. He brought manufacturing back to America. Small businesses flourished. He did what he promised. He put America first. We were winning. Donald Trump made America great again. But he also created a movement that threatened the special interests and the political elites. A movement that cast a bright light on the institutions weaponized against the American people. You see it in our schools. God bless the moms who fought back. You see it in your workplace. You see it on every news station, in every newspaper. You see it in the military. The most iconic military installations on planet Earth are stripped of their identity and renamed. Fort Bragg, Benning, Fort Hood. You see it in Hollywood. You see it in our two-tier judicial system. They don't even hide it anymore. My father has been censored. The former president ripped off Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook while terrorist organizations remain intact.
That's true. Taliban was still on Twitter.
My father has been persecuted, targeted by far-left Democrats, funded by special interest groups, and hand-picked judges. My father has been pulled off the ballots of states, radical justices attempting to defy the will of millions of Americans.
Was overturned
who adore
though, right?
Who he is.
I
and
missed
what
it.
he
I was
stands
typing
for.
something.
For the
My father even became the target of an assassin who
being taken
almost
off of ballots.
killed America's single greatest hope
He tried.
for our future.
they tried, yeah.
The swamp is terrified of this incredible movement. They're terrified of it.
Moment two.
They're terrified of
Yeah.
you and the
I'd say
tens
both
of
are.
millions of people watching us on TV
Both
right
are
now.
applicable.
They've tried everything
Yeah.
to keep him from you, everything. To destroy his legacy.
A lot of moments in this movement, though.
They have failed and
Yeah.
they will not win. I love my Florida delegation right here. Thank you. My father stands before you with the most votes of any Republican candidate in the history of our nation.
True.
Yeah.
He has defied the predictions of every political pundit. He fills stadiums across our country. He energizes Americans to the issues facing this nation and does so with unvarnished honesty. He is not a threat to democracy. He is a threat to those who despise our republic, many whom are bought and sold,
Beautifully said.
bribed and coerced, people who have never signed the front of a check and who have been dependent on the government their entire adult lives.
His sons are good speakers.
Today, as it was in 2016, America's
Both
at that
of them.
crossroads again. Energy prices are soaring. Interest rates are crippling.
And Barron is
Everything
Batman.
is
Well, almost
unaffordable.
became Batman.
The U.S. dollar has
Almost.
been diminished.
Almost.
Inflation has made it impossible for Americans to live, to save for their future. Our infrastructure is crumbling. Our border is out of control. Millions are dead and displaced in Russia and Ukraine, a war that has no end and a war that we are funding. The Middle East has become a hornet's nest. Our greatest ally, Israel, totally under siege. Fentanyl is killing our youth and destroying families, while the current administration
Yes.
stands idly by, hoping their inaction will import illegal votes. Crime terrorizes our cities and our suburbs as far-left policies handcuff police. Male athletes, guys my height, 6'5", are swimming
Somebody goes
in
a
women's
9
sports.
foot tall Batman.
That's terrifying. Yeah.
That is terrifying.
Destroying the dreams of young girls who have trained every minute of their lives. We no longer trust our elections. We no longer trust our judicial system, and we no longer believe that our government is working in our best interest.
I haven't believed that for a long time now. I don't think we have a representative
Despite where we
government
are
anymore.
today as a nation, I'd like to speak to every American.
It's eroding very, very
To the
fast.
homeless veteran
Yeah.
It has been for a long
sleeping
time.
under a bridge, as illegal
Fast and
immigrants
slow.
are housed in the most expensive
I don't know how to
hotels in
explain
New
that.
York. I'm sorry. We know it's wrong, and we will fix it.
All right. I also just like how direct his statements have been.
Yeah.
To the
Yeah.
single mother who can no longer afford
I
her
can't
rent,
imagine anybody
afford
more pissed than
groceries,
they
and has
are
been
about
forced to
what
work
happened
3
Saturday.
jobs. I'm sorry.
Oh my God, yeah.
It does not have to be this way.
It's their dad.
Yep.
To the parents who lost a son or daughter to fentanyl, including the incredible woman that spoke the other night, while an administration does absolutely nothing. I'm sorry. Your government can do so much better, and it will.
You'll never hear a Democrat saying your government can do better.
To the children who are being brainwashed instead of learning the
That's true.
fundamentals in school.
Because they're doing
I'm
great.
sorry.
Yep.
There are
That's
teachers who
their
care,
message.
and my father will empower them.
Their message is don't believe your eyes, don't believe your ears, don't believe your wallets.
Yeah.
To the law enforcement officers, our brave Border Patrol, Secret Service agents who work every single day to protect our communities, knowing damn well that the system will throw you under the bus, I'm sorry. We will stand behind you.
Josie, she goes, Hogan for press secretary.
Oh my God. Can you
you imagine?
imagine?
That
Oh
couldn't-
my God.
Commuters
Hulk Hogan
often
press
petrified to
secretary,
take a
everybody.
bus, take a train, or walk the streets in cities across our nation.
Could you imagine
I'm sorry.
Hunter Biden
That
giving a
man
speech
right
like
there
this
will fix this.
in the DNC?
No, he'd be too busy going like this every couple seconds.
To the construction workers, to the middle-class families,
You're
to
not
families
wrong.
with children with disabilities, families who can no longer afford medical benefits or to take a vacation, I'm sorry. We will make America great again. And to my father, who has been ruthlessly silenced, slandered, and attacked by a corrupt administration, I'm sorry. We know, and America knows, that they're not just after you, they're after all of us, and you just happen to be standing in their way.
You had said that, I believe, yesterday.
Did I? I might have.
I'm pretty sure. Maybe I saw it in chat. I'm not sure.
You likely saw it on chat. I believe it, though.
Yeah, I do believe it.
He's not sleeping. He's smiling.
He's
For all
smiling.
Americans watching tonight, the greatest retribution will be our success.
I don't think he sleeps.
Beautiful.
Success not just for ourselves, but for our grandchildren and our children.
You get less
Under
sleep than I
President
do.
Donald J. Trump, the swamp will be drained.
2 o'clock in the morning.
America
Bam.
will be respected. Our cities will be safe. Our streets will be
4 o'clock in the
clean,
morning. Bam.
and our
Tweet.
border will once again be secure. We will have peace. We will have prosperity. Your hard-earned tax dollars will enrich a better America, not be squandered.
Trump
in corrupt
doesn't sleep.
foreign
He
nations.
waits.
Education will be handed back to the states. We will no longer
Great
be
one.
30th in
That
the
is a
world.
great comment.
We will be
Thank
first.
you for that.
Once again, the amount of times that USA has been chanted at the RNC in the past, week, and I don't think we'll hear it a single time at the DNC.
You can make a drinking game, and you'd probably come out sober if you played that at the DNC.
Our children will have values, and our children will love God.
Apparently, NBC News tried to do a hit piece during the prayer segment, and several delegates started hitting the correspondents, telling them to shut
freedom
up.
of religion, and honor our Constitution.
Fuck.
Yep. I mean, we were silent during the speech or the prayer.
It's proper. Not my religion. I'm still going to be silent.
I've never been more proud of a person
Fair.
in my life. A man who has defied all odds more than once. A man who believed in the promise of America when others turned away. A man who saw a nation in need of a champion and answered that call with unwavering determination and courage. A man who survived a bullet that was intended to eliminate him permanently from our future and from our family. Never have I been more proud to be a Trump.
You can also tell that his kids genuinely love him. Like that it's not, this isn't like a transactional thing.
Never have I been more
I think
proud
Tucker
to stand by
Carlson
my father's side.
was giving an interview, and he said,
I remain
maybe it
incredibly
wasn't
honored
Tucker
to be
Carlson.
part
I
of
can't
this
remember
journey,
who it was.
a journey with all of you. A journey to save the
you can
greatest
judge Trump by
country
how
on
his
earth.
kids
A
behave.
journey with the most incredible
Yeah,
people.
I'm not sure if it was
I have
Tucker, but
never met.
I remember hearing something like that.
Yeah, I think I got that wrong,
Dad.
but yeah.
Yeah.
He's either
5
Vance,
days ago,
Vivek, or Tucker, or somebody like that.
Laura,
Yeah.
Luke, Carolina, and I held our breath as we saw blood pour across your face. By the grace of God, divine intervention, and your guardian angels above, you survived.
You know what? I'll fucking cheers to that, buddy.
I got no beard tonight.
Can't have it every night, buddy. I don't have any beer. I just got whiskey.
Fair. Yeah, I think the DNC, my dad texted me this, so it was actually kind of funny. The DNC will likely chant China, Russia, North Korea, or Ukraine.
Yeah, that's
instead
not
of USA.
wrong.
You are the greatest fighter I have ever seen. You are strong, you are full of life, and you are unapologetic. Your optimism is contagious. Your backbone is unbreakable. Your conviction to fight for what is right and against all that is wrong is truly next level.
It's a good comment. Just pinned it.
The whole world saw your strength as you stood up. You wiped the blood off your face, and you put your fist in the air in a moment that will be remembered as one of the most courageous acts in the history of American politics. You shouted, "Fight, fight,
You're
fight."
not wrong.
Yeah, no, it's 100% correct. The DNC will have Palestine. Yeah,
Palestinian flags for sure.
more Palestinian in Ukraine than American. They might have like one American flag.
I bet you they're gonna have more pride flags than American flags.
I'm honored to be your son.
I'd take that bet. Yeah.
I'm honored to speak to our great nation tonight. You are a true leader. You epitomize strength. Our country loves you. Our country appreciates you. Our country misses you. And on November 5th, our country will re-elect you as the 47th President of the United States of America. Good night, Milwaukee.
I think Dana
God
White's
bless you
next.
all.
Dana White is next. I sent you the schedule in the private.
Yeah, I was just referring to it.
It is once again late though. It is once again late though. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna keep this open.
Did Kid Rock play yet?
I don't know.
He might play while Trump's coming out.
That's entirely possible. I know he's a very big Trumper.
Well, I know Kid Rock is there, and I think they have a whole entire thing planned. So I'm guessing if I was to take a bet, it'd likely be right before as Trump's walking out.
Yeah,
likely before.
Now, just really quick, I was also looking up where all the money went. It wasn't charities. Somebody in chat did point out that he gave it to organizations like the National Park Services, and things of that nature.
Okay.
But it was federal agencies, so he was offsetting their costs by just saying, "I don't need my salary, you have it." So he was redistributing it into the government at least. So that's that. And I did want to touch on the pledge.
He's literally taking your tax. He's literally taking your tax money, and instead of keeping it for himself, he's putting it back into government.
Back
he's
into
redirecting the money, right?
Where the money should have probably gone, rather than to some bloated salary.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I do want to point out that the Pledge of Allegiance thing.
Yeah, you had mentioned that.
I did, and I know Shell pinned a couple comments, and I do understand where people are coming from. The reason I am anti-Pledge of Allegiance is because the person who came up with the Pledge of Allegiance was a communist. I do not like the idea that you are pledging allegiance to a flag or any state. I will never support that. I will always support, like, my personal pledge will always be to the ideals of freedom, right? Now, one could argue that the Constitution is that freedom, right? It just outlines it. That's the thing that a lot of people forget. They say, "Oh, well, the Constitution gives me that right." No, the Constitution doesn't give you shit. It outlines that you had it prior, and it limits government, and the Bill of Rights outlines your rights. That's all that is. I don't pledge allegiance to any fucking state bullshit. My allegiance will always be to freedom, liberty, above all else, whether or not the government's involved at all. I also, as I said, the person who created the pledge was a communist. So, fuck commies. So, enough said right there. I just wanted to touch on it. I've been holding my tongue. I was a good boy. Okay. I didn't tiz him out like last time, Dalton. Okay. I did good. I've been good
that was
boy.
a mini tism tirade. That really was.
What, the turtle dude?
Well, that was full scale tism tirade. This was a mini scale tism tirade.
Well, no, come on. This is just
That
me
was
explaining it. Why?
That was many.
Yeah.
You get passionate about it.
And here's the thing is that's even our founders' words were that the Constitution does not grant you shit. The Bill of Rights does not grant you shit. It outlines shit that you already have from birth. So I'll never pledge allegiance to a state. I'll never pledge allegiance to anything that a commie wrote. And I will, however, pledge allegiance to specifically whiskey.
What? I was just seeing if that was Kid Rock. Sorry.
No, it's not.
I like
Kid
saw
Rock.
a guitar. I saw a guitar in the little preview thing, and I was like, "Oh,
No, that's their like, I guess, house band. That's
Yeah.
playing all the intermission,
yep,
that music.
yeah." In between things, yeah. Nope.
Yeah.
Do you have it
Oh,
going on in the background, or am I
I
picking it
do.
up through your headphones? Oh yeah.
Hold on. Can you hear it, by the way, Dalton?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not sure what's going on. They just made an announcement. I mean, it's just classical music playing right now, right?
Rewind it like 15 seconds. Oh, First Lady Melania.
Oh, okay. It's Melania. Okay. All right. So
you
now,
just went
by the
by.
way,
Now
I
it's
went by,
commercial.
but it's
Or
because
not commercial. This it's not a commercial.
And sports
It's an
stars
ad.
wanted to be seen with
Yep.
him.
Hey, speaking of Jack Nicholson, because I just saw his photo. Dude's getting up there in age.
New Yorkers just loved him.
Oh, he really
And
is.
loved them back.
He's got
Yep.
some TDS too.
Just one
Oh, he does?
From what I've seen, yeah. Jack Nicholson.
didn't
What's
know
his
that.
name?
Walnut skating rink in Central Park is open again. The city spent nearly 6 years
Dude
and
with the
$12
jet who
million
likes to date
trying
like
fix it. And then to the rescue, developer Donald
DiCaprio.
Trump. As Tracy
Oh,
Egan tells us now,
yeah.
they accomplished
He's got
There's
what
a
a
25-year-old
the
limit.
city couldn't do in
Yeah, I
6
can see
years.
Donald,
I have a 26 beginning limit.
public service.
You got to be at least
There was
26.
no denying that Donald Trump was the toast.
I
of the
also
town,
love classical
but he
music.
was
Dalton,
also
you like
something
classical?
even more important, a patriotic American.
I can't say that I get
And
into
like
it
many
now.
others, he was becoming increasingly troubled by the direction of our
Like if it's
country.
on, I'm not going to turn it off. But like, it's also not my
I really
go-to.
am tired of
Okay.
seeing what's happening with this country, how we're really making other people live like kings, and we're not.
You've said, though, that if you did run for president, you believe you'd win.
Well, I don't know. I think I'd win. I tell you what, I wouldn't go in to lose. I've never gone in to lose in my life. And if I did decide to do
Back
it,
when they were
I
all
think I'd
on
be
his
fine.
side.
I
So
would say
weird.
that I would have a hell of a chance of
Weird.
winning, because I think people, I don't know how your audience feels, but I think people are tired of seeing the United States ripped off.
But who would ever run for president and leave such a glamorous life? Appearances in movies, best-selling books.
For real though, what a life! What a life!
It's nuts,
But for
actually.
Donald J. Trump,
It is.
the calling to save his country was even stronger. The mission, more important. The number of Americans being left behind, too large. And so, in Donald Trump fashion, he announced he was running for
You remember the
president.
Simpsons
And
episode that got
I
this?
do.
Yeah,
Literally about to say that.
He
yeah,
did.
It's got a lot of predictions right.
it did. that he's ignoring the troops for Thanksgiving, and he was literally there.
He literally like popped up there. Yeah, they're like, "Where's Trump?" And then he's like, "Over here."
Yeah. They were. I think they flat out said he won't be doing it, and then he was already on his way or like landing.
The media is retarded. If nobody's noticed yet.
You do not hate journalists enough.
You don't hate legacy media enough.
Legacy
Independent journalism. There's
can be very good.
Yeah.
Today, a different story. Our enemies smell weakness. Then set the world on
Gotta have a little
fire.
bit of trolling.
Oh, I remember that footage.
Yep.
That was insane.
Then started a
Horrifying.
war in the Middle East.
Didn't you,
Could you
say that
imagine?
Biden tried kissing some other woman today or
Yes.
something?
Today there was a woman who looked similar to Jill Biden, and it looked like he was like the way he was holding. I think she was a donor, and the way that he was like kind of holding into her, or at least his demeanor towards her. Jill Biden like ran from like across the room. And it was like grabbed his arm and was like, "It's I'm right here. That's not her." Yeah, she basically said no, and you could see him, and he goes, "Oh." It's like, whoa, man.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. They're using the photo in ads. Now it's coming. As it should.
Yeah.
Just the chanting.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Kid Rock.
Okay.
Here we go.
So now, can we stream this even though it's music?
Yes, I would. Yep.
Okay. Kid Rock, I'm going to tweet at you viciously if you copyright strike us.
While this is going, I'm going to use the bathroom real quick. I'll be right back.
Go for it.
Now follow me. Say fight, fight. Say fight, fight. Say fight, fight. Say somebody scream.
Shell, you have a banner for everything.
I'm back with the fever. Hats and Ben Davis slash 30-pack of stroll. Straight rock and roll. No Rogaine in the propane flow. The chosen one. I'm the living proof with the gift to gab from the city of truth. You know I jab, stab, and not critics back. And I did not start when I said that. I'm going platinum, selling rhymes.
It is definitely the most powerful image of our time, Vader.
See us fry. I guess because only God knows why.
Do you think he's singing over a backtrack, or is this a band?
I don't know.
I don't think it's a band. It sounds like a backtrack, if I had to guess. I could be wrong.
I'm thinking it's a backtrack.
Yeah. I wish it was a band.
I also wish it was a band, but I understand the setup would have been much more difficult to do.
Yeah,
logistically,
absolutely.
yeah. We could be wrong, though. It's definitely a rough track. Whatever it is, it's a rough track, though. It doesn't sound like it's been processed too much.
They're really amplifying his voice.
Yeah.
And that could just be like for the live stream or whatever, like they're them streaming it out. It could be a whole entire different story there in person.
True.
Different mixes.
Ken says it's cringe either way.
I'll tell you this, I'm not the biggest fan of Kid Rock's music.
Yeah,
but,
same.
What he's doing, it's like, it's appreciated.
You know who I really respect?
I know what he's doing.
Vanilla Ice. He became a real estate investor.
Do I know
Ice
that
Ice
guy?
Baby.
Okay, I was gonna say it
Yeah.
sounds familiar.
Oh, you are so sheltered. I love you.
I mean, I knew what you were talking about. It sounded familiar. I just wasn't 100% confident in it.
Okay.
I wanted to say Ice Ice Baby. I just didn't want to look stupid if I was wrong. Harry Sisson tweeted, "This is the Republican Party, folks. No serious conversation on policy, no focus on the people, just whatever the hell this is." And it's Hulk Hogan tearing off his shirt.
But even Hulk Hogan pointed out policy. That's the thing.
Well, what's funny is
Trump.
Well, what's funny is Josie replied. He goes, "This is the Democratic Party, folks. No serious conversation on policy, no focus on the people, just whatever the hell this is." And it's the dude that stole all the dresses from the airport suitcases.
Oh, the bald dude. Yeah.
Yeah. Josie.
I love her so much.
If you guys don't follow Josie, the redheaded libertarian, on Twitter or X, go for it. She's a great account to follow.
Oh, yeah. Turn on alerts for her.
Yeah.
Josie's just blessed.
She will make you laugh. If you need a pick-me-up, that account is there for you.
Did you really just say Limp Bizkit?
Me?
No, Bird.
Okay.
This is Kid Rock, buddy.
Patriotic American badass on earth, President Donald J. Trump. But first, another American badass, my brother, Dana White. God bless America.
Dana White.
Here's that intro.
Yep.
So I watched a couple of interviews with Dana White, and him explaining his relationship and his friendship. Oh, it is a live band, it looks like.
That's the live band. I'm not sure if they were playing because I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I would have.
I would have preferred it. Yeah,
I would have been like, you're the band, you're there.
But they never panned to them during, which you would have thought they would have.
Yeah, but they were off to the side, and Kid Rock is the main thing. Now, I will say I've watched a couple of interviews about Dana White, him explaining his friendship with Donald Trump and his loyalty to him. He's got a very powerful relationship and loyalty to Donald Trump.
Oh, yeah.
Throughout the years. It's pretty incredible.
They've worked together over a number of years,
Yeah, Shell. Yeah, Shell. I thought it was background or backtrack or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. No, Dana White has also. Have you noticed him trending much more out of just the culture scene into the political scene as of late? Not even necessarily always
slowly.
regarding Trump.
Yeah, slowly.
I feel like you're going to see a lot more of that.
Potentially. He is a fierce person.
Oh yeah, he's intense.
Good evening,
I mean,
ladies and gentlemen.
with a name like Dana as your first name, you kind of have to be if you're a dude.
And president of the Ultimate Fighting Championship.
Got to be able to punch people,
Yeah.
So 2 weeks ago, I got a call from President Trump asking me if I'd be willing to speak tonight. As usual, there was no pressure, no demands. He asked me as a friend, and of course, I said yes. Then, after I accepted his offer, he sent me a text message, and I just want to read to you a little piece of what President Trump wrote to me. Dana, I'm so honored that you will be doing the introduction at the National Republican Convention. Think of it as the biggest fight you ever had, a fight for our country and even the world. I only wish you didn't have to interrupt your family trip, but I hope they understand they love you and they know how important this is. Now think about this. This man's running for president of the United States. He's fighting for the future of this country, and he's concerned about interrupting my family trip. That's the President Trump that I know. A man who truly cares about people. The mainstream media likes to push the narrative that he doesn't care about anyone but himself. I absolutely know that's not the truth because I've been friends with this guy for 25 years.
Yeah.
And for the people who know me, they'll know this is true. I just want to make something very clear. Nobody in the Trump campaign has ever told me what to say. Nobody tells me what to say, and I'm nobody's puppet.
You do feel an air of sincerity with every speaker.
And I'm not telling you what to think. I'm telling you what I know.
Unlike Harry Sisson.
And I know President Trump. I know President Trump is a fighter. I've been saying this since 2015. Now look at what's happened over the last 10 years. We have all seen it with our own eyes. I'm in the tough guy business. And this man is the toughest, most resilient human being that I've ever met in my life. The higher the stakes, the harder he fights. And this guy never, ever gives up. So what's at stake here? The answer is in President Trump's text. And I quote, "A fight for our country."
Yeah.
I know why he's running for president again. Why else would he put himself through everything he's dealt with just to get back here? We all know he doesn't need this. This guy's got a great life. He has a beautiful family, and he has achieved everything that you could possibly achieve in life.
He really
I
has.
know President Trump is literally
I mean,
putting his
other
life on
what?
the line
He hasn't gone to
for
the
something
moon,
bigger than
right?
himself.
Like,
And
Well,
he's
other
willing
than a
to
second
risk it
term of
all
president,
because
he's
he
achieved
loves
basically
this
everything.
country.
yep.
Everything he's wanted.
And I know he wants what's best for the American people, all American people. I know he's running for president to save our American dream. I'm living the American dream, and I know the American dream is very real. Whether you were born in this country or came here from someplace else, this is the last real land of opportunity.
Truth. Absolute truth.
President Reagan once said, government's first duty is to protect the people, not run their lives. And if you're buried in government red tape, how will you ever start your own business? If you're struggling to pay your bills, how can you ever afford to start a family? And if you don't feel safe in your own town, why would you ever buy a house? I know that President Trump is fighting to save the American dream, and that's what's at stake in this election.
Well said.
We are choosing who we want to lead us in this fight. I know President Trump is a proven leader, a fearless leader, and this country was in a much better place when he was in the Oval Office.
You're here to that.
In my mind, the choice is clear. But this election, we all get to choose. I know I'm going to choose strength and security. I know I'm going to choose opportunity and prosperity. I know I'm going to choose real American leadership and a real American badass.
Especially after Saturday.
Yep.
And I'm not telling you what choice to make, and I'm not telling you what to think. I'm telling you what I know. I know America needs a strong leader, and the world needs a strong America. I know Donald J. Trump is the best choice for President of the United States. My fellow Americans, it is my honor to introduce the 45th and soon-to-be 47th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
Let's go.
What an introduction. What
That is
introduction.
that is an introduction.
You can't not love Dana White.
No. I'm just gonna once again.
I don't know that you have to. I mean, how many other streams are probably streaming this, man? And plus, we're not monetized or anything.
It doesn't matter because if we get enough,
They'll still copyright. Yeah, that's
they'll
true.
still copyright, and that limits
Yeah, I
a
think
lot of other
having
shit.
having it down but not muted is fine.
That's what I have. Yeah,
cool.
Just so then it's like we're obviously
we can hear.
We can hear exactly. Yeah, no, that was a straight badass introduction. And as I said, I do find it interesting that you are seeing more people from culture come into the realm of politics, especially post Saturday. I feel like there are a lot more people that are just said, yeah, no, I'm not doing this bullshit anymore.
Yeah, well, Andrew Piper, he said politics is downstream of culture. So
yeah,
that's very true. Very, very true.
And and we're seeing it in real time. And that's the really interesting thing.
Yep.
By the way, and if you want to know why this song would 100% do it to us, it's because it did it to us on the other channel. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fair
well,
enough. You've learned from experience.
I've been around enough to know. A flashing light warning to anybody who has seizures. If you start twitching on the ground, make sure you have somebody that can help you.
Boom. We can do that real quick for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Proud to be an American is the song for anybody who's curious. They just lifted up this like flashing screen and shit. I really hope Biden's not watching this. He'll have a stroke.
I will tell you this. I don't know how many times this man has heard this song in his life. More than anyone, I would imagine.
You think he listens to it like outside of the realm, or do you think he's like it's just been burned into his brain?
I'll be honest with you. If I was him, I would not listen to it unless it was specifically to just solely walking out into it. Because it's like I said, how many times do you think this man has listened to this song? I'm sure he loves it, but like, oh, look at that. That's so cool. The way that just rose.
That is sick.
Whoa, the podium.
Production quality on point here.
All right. Yep. All right, guys. Moment of truth. Is he gonna rip his Band-Aid off?
I really hope he does, just to like prove and just be like each, you know. But he's also going for a unity, so I don't know if he would under a unity speech. He's coming up to the stage. He's coming up to the stage.
You want it so bad though.
Oh my god!
Just like boom, like when he talks about it, boom.
I hope so. I genuinely hope so.
All right. That's it.
Here we go, everybody. Moment of truth. I'm gonna go pee really quick. I'm gonna like fire hose it.
Hurry up. Take your time, Tack. He's getting a standing ovation, so you're fine for at least 2 minutes. Maybe not. I might have lied. Nope. You're good. You're totally good. He just stepped away from the podium. He's soaking this in, and rightly so. He deserves it.
Thank you very much.
Oh no, he's back.
Thank you very, very much. Wow. And thank you, Dana. Thank you, Kid Rock, sometimes referred to as Bob.
I did not
and
know
thank
that.
you, Lee, right from the beginning. Thank you very much. What a talent. What a beautiful, beautiful song. Thank you. Friends, delegates, and fellow citizens, I stand before you this evening with a message of confidence, strength, and hope. 4 months from now, we will have an incredible victory, and we will begin the 4 greatest years in the history of our country. Together, we will launch a new era of safety, prosperity, and freedom for citizens of every race, religion, color, and creed. The discord and division in our society must be healed. We must heal it quickly. As Americans, we are bound together by a single fate and a shared destiny. We rise together or we fall apart. I am running to be president for all of America, not half of America, because there is no victory in winning for half of America. So tonight, with faith and devotion, I proudly accept your nomination for President of the United States. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I love those 2 sons are standing.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
And we will do it right. Gonna do it right. Let me begin this evening by expressing my gratitude to the American people for your outpouring of love and support following the assassination attempt at my rally on Saturday. As you already know, the assassin's bullet came within a quarter of an inch of taking my life. So many people have asked me, what happened? Tell us what happened, please. And therefore, I will tell you exactly what happened. And you'll never hear it from me a second time because it's actually too painful to tell. It was a warm, beautiful day in the early evening in Butler Township in the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Music was loudly playing and the campaign was doing really well. I went to the stage and the crowd was cheering wildly. Everybody was happy. I began speaking very strongly, powerfully, and happily because I was discussing the great job my administration did on immigration at the southern border. We were very proud of it. Behind me and to the right was a large screen that was displaying a chart of border crossings under my leadership. The numbers were absolutely amazing. In order to see the chart, I started to, like this, turn to my right and was ready to begin a little bit further turn, which I'm very lucky I didn't do, when I heard a loud whizzing sound and felt something hit me.
Oh, damn, there's that picture.
Really, really hard on my right ear. I said to myself, wow, what was that? It can only be a bullet. And moved my right hand to my ear, brought it down. My hand was covered with blood, just absolutely blood all over the place. I immediately knew it was very serious, that we were under attack, and in one movement proceeded to drop to the ground. Bullets were continuing to fly as very brave Secret Service agents rushed to the stage, and they really did. They rushed to the stage.
Not all of them, but some. The majority, I will say.
Yeah.
These are great people at great risk, I will tell you, and pounced on top of me so that I would be protected. There was blood pouring everywhere, and yet, in a certain way, I felt very safe because I had God on my side. I felt that. The amazing thing is that prior to the shot, if I had not moved my head at that very last instant, the assassin's bullet would have perfectly hit its mark, and I would not be here tonight. We would not be together. The most incredible aspect of what took place on that terrible evening in the fading sun was actually seen later. In almost all cases, as you probably know, and when even a single bullet is fired, just a single bullet, and we had many bullets that were being fired, crowds run for the exits or stampede, but not in this case. It's very unusual.
That's very true.
Yeah, very.
This massive crowd of tens of thousands of people stood by and didn't move an inch. In fact, many of them bravely, but automatically stood up looking for where the sniper would be. They knew immediately it was a sniper, and then began pointing at him. You can see that if you look at the group behind me. That was just a small group. compared to what was in front. Nobody ran, and by not stampeding, many lives were saved. But that isn't the reason that they didn't move. The reason is that they knew I was in very serious trouble. They saw it. They saw me go down. They saw the blood and thought, actually, most did, that I was dead. They knew it was a shot to the head. They saw the blood. And there's an interesting statistic. The ears are the bloodiest part. If something happens with the ears, they bleed more than any other part of the body. For whatever reason, the doctors told me that. I said, why is there so much blood? He said, it's the ears. They bleed more. So we learned something, but they just, this beautiful crowd, they didn't want to leave me. They knew I was in trouble. They didn't want to leave me. And you can see that love written all over their faces. Incredible people. They're incredible people. Bullets were flying over us, yet I felt serene. But now the Secret Service agents were putting themselves in peril. They were in very dangerous territory. Bullets were flying right over them, missing them by a very small amount of inches. And then it all stopped. Our Secret Service sniper, from a much greater distance and with only one bullet used, took the assassin's life, took him out. I'm not supposed to be here tonight. Not supposed to be here.
He's supposed to. He almost wasn't.
Yes, you are.
Damn fucking straight.
Thank you. But I'm not. And I'll tell you, I stand before you in this arena only by the grace of Almighty God. In watching the reports over the last few days, many people say it was a providential moment. Probably was. When I rose surrounded by Secret Service, the crowd was confused because they thought I was dead, and there was great, great sorrow. I could see that on their faces as I looked out. They didn't know I was looking out. They thought it was over, but I could see it. I wanted to do something to let them know I was okay. I raised my right arm, looked at the thousands and thousands of people that were breathlessly waiting, and started shouting, "Fight, fight, fight." Thank you.
What a
Once my clenched fist went up, and it was high into the air. You've all seen that. The crowd realized I was okay and roared with pride for our country like no crowd I have ever heard before. Never heard anything like it. For the rest of my life, I will be grateful for the love shown by that giant audience of patriots that stood bravely on that fateful evening in Pennsylvania. Tragically, the shooter claimed the life of one of our fellow Americans, Corey Comparator. Unbelievable person, everybody tells me. Unbelievable. And seriously wounded. Two other great warriors, spoke to them today. David Dutch and James Copenhaver. Two great people. I also spoke to all three families of these tremendous people. Our love and prayers are with them. And Always will be. We're never going to forget them. They came for a great rally. They were serious Trumpsters, I want to tell you. They were serious Trumpsters and still are. But Corey, unfortunately, we have to use the past tense. He was incredible. He was a highly respected former fire chief, respected by everybody. Was accompanied by his wife, Helen, incredible woman. I spoke to her today, devastated, and two precious daughters. He lost his life selflessly acting as a human shield to protect them from flying bullets. He went right over the top of them and was hit. What a fine man he was.
For those listening on the podcast, they have his fireman suit on stage, and Trump is walking over to it right now. And Trump is kissing his helmet.
The amount of money that was raised as well. My God.
Yeah.
I want to thank the fire department and the family for sending his helmet, his outfit, and it was just something, and they're going to do something very special when they get it. But we did something which cannot match what happened, not even close. But I am very proud to say that over the past few days, we've raised $6.3 million for the families of David, James, and Corey, including from a friend of mine just called up. He sent me a check right here. I just got it. $1 million from Dan Newland. Thank you, Dan. And again, when speaking to the family, I told them, I said, well, I'm going to be sending you a lot of money, but it can't compensate. They all said the same thing. You're right, sir. We appreciate so much what you're doing, but nothing can take the place in the case of Corey and the other two. By the way, they were very, very seriously injured, but now they're doing very well. They're going to be okay.
They were older too. I think late 50s, early 70s, mid 70s.
Yeah, they're not young.
No.
They're warriors. So now I ask that we observe a moment of silence in honor of our friend Corey. There is no greater love than to lay down one's life for others. This is the spirit that forged America in her darkest hours, and this is the love that will lead America back to the summit of human achievement and greatness. This is what we need. Despite such a heinous attack, we unite this evening more determined than ever. I am more determined than ever, and so are you. So is everybody on your side.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Our resolve is unbroken and our purpose is unchanged to deliver a government that serves the American people better than ever before. Nothing will stop me in this mission because our vision is righteous and our cause is pure. No matter what obstacle comes our way, we will not break, we will not bend, we will not back down, and I will never stop fighting for you, your family, and our magnificent country. Never.
Amen to that.
And everything I have to give with all of the energy and fight in my heart and soul, I pledge to our nation tonight. Thank you very much. I pledge that to our nation. We're going to turn our nation around, and we're going to do it very quickly. Thank you. This election should be about the issues facing our country and how to make America successful, safe, free, and great again. In an age when our politics too often divide us, now is the time to remember that we are all fellow citizens. We are one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And we must not criminalize dissent or demonize political disagreement, which is what's been happening in our country lately at a level that nobody has ever seen before. In that spirit, the Democrat Party should immediately stop weaponizing the justice system and labeling their political opponent as an enemy of democracy. Especially since that is not true. In fact, I am the one saving democracy for the people of our country. And very big news, as you probably just read, on Monday, a major ruling was handed down from a highly respected federal judge in Florida, Eileen Cannon, finding that the prosecutor and the fake documents case against me were totally unconstitutional, and the entire case was thrown out of court. With all of that publicity, thrown out of court.
The dude just keeps winning.
The Democrats want to unify our country. They should drop these partisan witch hunts, which I have been going through for approximately 8 years. And they should do that without delay and allow an election to proceed that is worthy of our people. We're going to win it anyway, but worthy of our people. On this journey, I am deeply honored to be joined by my amazing wife, Melania.
Which is a rarity on a campaign trail.
Well, she's been watching after Barron, correct? And kind of.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's taken on that role pretty heavily, especially during the first term.
Yeah.
Probably, the last 4 years as well.
Yeah.
And Melania, thank you very much. You also did something really beautiful, a letter to America calling for national unity, and it really took the Republican Party by surprise. I will tell you, it was beautiful. In fact, some very serious people said that we should take that letter and put it as part of the Republican platform. That would be an honor, wouldn't it? Right, Mr. Congressman? But it captivated so many. So I also want to thank my entire family for being here. Don, Kimberly, Ivanka and Jared, Eric and Lara, Tiffany and Michael, Barron. We love our Barron. And of course, my 10 wonderful grandchildren. You saw a few of them up there on my lap before.
Not sniffing them.
Oh, yep, not sniffing them.
And how good was Dana? Was Dana good? I mean, was he good?
Dana was good.
Yep.
He was on
Powerful.
probably the only vacation he's had in about maybe ever, because he works, but about 10 years with his wife, very far away. I won't tell you where, but very, very far away. Beautiful place. And my people called and he said, yeah, I won't be able to do it. This is many, many years. I promised my wife I can't do it. And they came in, they said, Dana won't be able to do it because he was my first, second, and third choice. I said, well, that's too bad, but I understand he's away. And It's good. It's good for him. And that was it. About 30 minutes later, she came back in, sir, Dana just called. He's going to do it. And his wife, she said, you can't turn him down. You just can't do it. You have to go. That's a good wife.
Here's for Dana's wife.
Yep.
So he got on a plane. He got here a little while ago. Now he's going to get on the plane in a little while, and he's going to go back home to his wife. But they're great, and I just want to thank her and him and their whole family, because that's not easy. And Kid Rock, same thing. Called, he said, I want to be a part of it. I want to be a part, because, you know, Kid does his great song, Big, Big Monster song. I had no idea. You know, he became a friend of mine over the last 10 years. And he's amazing. Everyone loves him. I didn't even know how big he was. You know, he has rallies, 35, 40,000 people he gets every time he goes out.
Is that true?
I think he's making so much money, he doesn't know what the hell to do with it. You
Don't
want
follow Kid Rock.
Yeah.
And then we have my other friend that I've known him so long, and we took that song, and it was a big success, but we made that. I saw a chart of great songs to America. That was #1 on the chart recently, #1. So that's Lee Greenwood, a very special, beautiful person. He's a beautiful man. But they all wanted to be here. They called. And how about the Hulkster? How good was he? Is he up?
Yeah.
Boy, oh boy. You know, they may call that entertainment. I know about entertainment, but when he used to lift a 350-pound man over his shoulders and then bench press him 2 rows into the audience, I say maybe entertainment, but he is one strong son of a gun. I will tell you, I watched it many times. There aren't a lot of entertainers that can do that, right? You were fantastic. Thank you very much. Followed by Eric. What was that all about? Boy, that was good. I didn't want to really come up here. But he was so great, and he's such a good young man. He went through a lot of trouble, and Don last night was incredible. They went through so much trouble. They got subpoenaed more than any people probably in the history of the United States. Every week they get another subpoena from the Democrats, crazy Nancy Pelosi, the whole thing, just boom, boom, boom.
He did say he's not going to say Biden. He said nothing about
stop
Pelosi.
that, because
Yeah, she's fair game.
destroying our country.
Yeah.
We have to work on making America great again, not on beating people. And we won. We beat them and all. We beat them on the impeachments. We beat them on indictments. We beat them. But the time that you have to spend, if they would devote that genius to helping our country, we'd have a much stronger and better country.
Yeah.
And Jason, the biggest star in country music. Jason, thank you for being here. Jason, thank you very much.
Is it Jason Aldean?
Aldean. He's good.
Oh, yeah. There it is.
I like his wife even better, by the way. She's here.
What a Trump thing to say.
Such a Trump
New
thing to
friend
say.
and partner fighting by my side. The next Vice President of the United States, the current Senator from Ohio, J.D. Vance, and his incredible wife, Usha. He's going to be a great Vice President. He's going to be great. He'll be with this country and with his movement, greatest movement in the history of our country, Make America Great Again. When they criticize it, they say, we're going to try and stop MAGA. I said, MAGA is Make America Great Again. What are you going to stop? There's nothing to stop. Then they say, oh, that's right. It's very tough to fight it. And all of the people that did try and fight it have failed. but he's going to be with us for a long time, and it was an honor to select him. Great student at Yale. His wife was a great student at Yale. They met at Yale. These are two smart people. So, JD, you're going to be doing this for a long time. Enjoy the ride.
Uh-oh. Sounds like 2028.
That is what that sounds like to me.
And a very special thank you to the extraordinary people of Milwaukee and the great state of... Oh, there they are. There they are. You are so easy to spot. And Green Bay's going to have
the freaking foam cheese.
They're going to have a good time.
The cheese.
Most of the audience doesn't like it, but it's true. You're going to have a very good tape this year. And by the way, Wisconsin, we are spending over $250 million here, creating jobs and other economic development all over the place. So I hope you will remember this in November and give us your vote. I am trying to buy your vote. I'll be honest about that.
I wonder where the Southern delegation is.
We will make Wisconsin great again. We're going to make
cowboy hat.
Yeah, I think so.
Thank you, Mr. Governor. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm here tonight to lay out a vision for the whole nation. To every citizen, whether you're a young or old man or woman, Democrat, Republican, or independent, black or white, Asian or Hispanic, I extend to you a hand of loyalty and of friendship. Together, we will lead America to new heights of greatness like the world has never seen before. We were right there in the first term. We got hit with COVID. We did a great job. Nobody knew what it was, but nobody's ever seen an economy pre-COVID. And then we handed over a stock market that was substantially higher than just prior to COVID. Coming in, did a great job. Never got credit for that. We got credit for the war and defeating ISIS and so many things, the great economy, the biggest tax cuts ever, the biggest regulation cuts ever, the creation of Space Force, the rebuilding of our military. We did so much.
He did create Space Force, yeah.
We did so much. Yeah. Right to try is a big deal.
He did a lot of great things.
They were trying to get that for.
He's got more of a list than Biden does.
Somebody's terminally
of just
ill.
Accomplishments that he didn't want.
Yeah.
There's nobody in this audience, but it does happen a lot. They're terminally ill and they can't use our new space age drugs and other things that we are way ahead. We have the greatest doctors in the world, the greatest laboratories in the world, and you can't do it. They've been trying to get that approved for 52 years. Wasn't that easy? The insurance companies didn't want to do it. They didn't want the risk. The labs didn't want to do it because if it didn't work, people are pretty far down the line toward death. They didn't want to do it. The doctors didn't want to have it on their records, so I got everybody into an office. 52 years they tried. Sounds simple, but it's not. And I got them to agree that somebody that needs it will, instead of going to Asia or Europe or someplace, or if you have no money, going home and dying, just die. We got them to sign an agreement, agree to it, where they're not going to sue anybody. They're going to get all of this stuff. They're going to get it really fast. And what's happened is we're saving thousands and thousands of lives. It's incredible. Right to try.
Right to try is great.
Yep. It's a great feeling. Under our leadership, the United States will be respected again. No nation will question our power. No enemy will doubt our might. Our borders will be totally secure. Our economy will soar. We will return law and order to our streets, patriotism to our schools, and importantly, we will restore peace, stability, and harmony all throughout the world. But to achieve this future, we must first rescue our nation from failed and even incompetent leadership. We have totally incompetent leadership. This will be the most important election in the history of our country. Under the current administration, we are indeed a nation in decline. We have an inflation crisis that is making life unaffordable, ravaging the incomes of working and low-income families, and crushing, just simply crushing our people like never before. They've never seen anything like it. We also have an illegal immigration crisis, and it's taking place right now as we sit here in this beautiful arena. It's a massive invasion at our southern border that has spread misery, crime, poverty, disease, and destruction to communities all across our land. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. Then there's an international crisis, the likes of which the world has seldom been part of. Nobody can believe what's happening. War is now raging in Europe and the Middle East. A growing specter of conflict hangs over Taiwan, Korea, the Philippines, and all of Asia. And our planet is teetering on the edge of World War III. And this will be a war like no other war because of weaponry. The weapons are no longer army tanks going back and forth shooting at each other. These weapons are obliteration. It's time for a change. This administration can't come close to solving the problems. We're dealing with very tough, very fierce people. They're fierce people. And we don't have fierce people. We have people that are a lot less than fierce, except when it comes to cheating on elections and a couple of other things. Then they're fierce. Then they're fierce. So tonight, I make this pledge to the great people of America. I will end the devastating inflation crisis immediately, bring down interest rates, and lower the cost of energy. We will drill, baby, drill.
Please. Please. I got beef jerky.
Ooh, I am very jealous right now.
Some old trapper.
Can you believe what they're doing? But by doing that, we will lead a large-scale decline in prices. Prices will start to come down. Energy raised it. They took our energy policies and destroyed them. Then they immediately went back to them, but by that time, so much was lost. But we will do it at levels that nobody's ever seen before. And we'll end lots of different things. We'll start paying off debt and start lowering taxes even further. We gave you the largest tax cut. We'll do it more. You know, people don't realize I brought taxes way down, way down, and yet we took in more revenues the following year than we did when the tax rate was much higher. Most people said, how did you do that? Because it was incentive. Everybody was coming to the country. They were bringing back billions and billions of dollars into our country. The companies made it impossible to bring it back. The tax rate was too high, and the legal complications were far too great. I changed both of them, and hundreds of billions of dollars by Apple and so many other companies were brought back into our nation, and we had an economy the likes of which no nation had ever seen. China, we were beating them at levels that were incredible. And they know it. They know it. We'll do it again, but we'll do it even better. I will end the illegal immigration crisis by closing our border and finishing the wall, most of which I've already built.
I feel like this is the most human we've ever seen Trump.
Yeah.
On the wall, we were dealing with a very difficult Congress.
And also focused on policy.
Oh, that's okay. We won't go to Congress. I call it an invasion. We gave our
military, he's very calm,
almost
but you can tell he's affected by this.
I said, I'm going to take a little of that money because this is an invasion. And we built, most of the wall is already built. And we built it through using the funds because what's better than that? We have to stop the invasion into
I like moments like this where like Trump comes out a little bit more.
A year.
And then it goes like, it's like a little sway and then Trump and a little sway and then
exactly.
Trump.
Yep.
I will end every single international crisis that the current administration has created, including the horrible war with Russia and Ukraine, which would have never happened if I was president, and the war caused by the attack on Israel, which would have never happened if I was president. Iran was broke. Iran had no money. Now Iran has $250 billion. They made it all over the last 2.5 years. They were broke. I watched the other day on a show called Deface the Nation. Has anyone seen it? And they had a congressman who was a Democrat say, well, whether you like him or not, Iran was broke dealing with Trump. I told China and other countries, if you buy from Iran, we will not let you do any business in this country, and we will put tariffs on every product you do send in of 100% or more. And they said to me, well, I think that's about it. They weren't going to buy any oil. And they were ready to make a deal. Iran was going to make a deal with us. And then we had that horrible, horrible result that we'll never let happen again. The election result, we're never going to let that happen again. They used COVID to cheat. We're never going to let it happen again.
Flat out saying it.
And they took off all the sanctions, and they did everything possible for Iran. And now Iran is very close to having a nuclear weapon, which would have never happened. This is a shame what this administration, the damage that this administration has done. And I say it often, if you took the 10 worst presidents in the history of the United States, think of it, the 10 worst, added them up, they will not have done the damage that Biden has done. Only going to use the term once. Biden. I'm not going to use the name anymore, just one time. The damage that he's done to this country is unthinkable.
So he did say it because I was reading.
You said once.
Together we
once.
will restore
you let it slip.
Competence, and we're going to have a
I'll forgive him, I guess.
common sense making most of our decisions, actually. It's all common sense. Just a few short years ago, under my presidency, we had the most secure border and best economy in the history of our country, in the history of the world. We had the greatest economy in the history of the world. We had never done anything like it. We were beating every country, including China, by leaps and bounds. Nobody had seen anything like it. We had no inflation, soaring incomes were going. Nobody can believe it. You can't believe what happened 4 years ago is happening now in reverse. And the world was at peace. Inflation has been a killer for our country. No matter what you make it, it doesn't matter because inflation is eating you alive. People that were putting away money, they were making great wages, the highest they've ever made, but they were putting away a lot of money. Now they are just being destroyed. They're not putting away anything. They're barely living. They're going into savings accounts. They're taking out their money to live because of inflation. Inflation, remember, it's called a country buster. You can go back to Germany from 100 years ago. You can go back to any country that suffered great inflation. We've suffered the worst inflation we've ever had. But go back and see what's happened to those countries. We've had the worst inflation we've ever had under this person. But in less than 4 years, our opponents have turned incredible success into unparalleled tragedy and failure. It's been a tremendous failure. Today, our cities are flooded with illegal aliens. Americans are being squeezed out of the labor force and their jobs are taken. By the way, you know who's taking the jobs that are created? 107%
You're like slowly going in for the beef jerky so you don't make so much noise.
Illegal aliens. And you know who's being hurt the most by millions of people pouring into our country? The black population and the Hispanic population, because they're taking the jobs from our black population, our Hispanic population, and they're also taking them from unions. The unions are suffering because of it. Thank you. Thank you. I like you too. Thank you very much. Inflation has wiped out the life savings of our citizens and forced the middle class into a state of depression and despair. That's what it is. It's despair and depression. We cannot and will not let this continue. Less than 4 years ago, we were a great nation, and we will soon be a great nation again. We're going to be a great nation again. Thank you. With proper leadership, every disaster we are now enduring will be fixed, and it will be fixed very, very quickly. So tonight, whether you've supported me in the past or not, I hope you will support me in the future, because I will bring back the American dream. That's what we're going to do. You don't even hear about the American dream anymore. With great humility, I am asking you to be excited about the future of our country. Be excited. Be excited.
He does inspire like excitement in him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Excitement and revival.
And by the way, the news reports, oh, look at all of those big networks. Look at them. They're all here. But every one of them has said this could be the most organized, best run, and most enthusiastic convention of either party that they've ever seen. Every single one. And it's true. It's true. And there's love in the room. There's great love in the room. So I better finish strong. Otherwise, we'll blow it. And we can't let that happen. Now, this was great. All of the great people that spoke, and everybody hit a home run. I mean, there's not one that I can think of where I said, oh, gee, that wasn't great. Every single person. I refuse to be the only one. Don't do that to me. They're already getting ready. See, I gave them an idea. Now, this was a great convention. This was, I think we're actually going to go home and miss it. You know, usually with a first of all, look at these crowds. You'd never have this at a convention. Look at these crowds.
You do at Trump conventions. The previous conventions, no.
Love. It's about love. This week,
Look at that setup.
the entire Republican
wild
Party
setup.
has formally adopted an agenda for America's renewal, and you saw that agenda, and it's very short compared to the long, boring, meaningless agendas of the past, including the Democrats. They write these things that are hundreds of pages long, and they never read them after they're done. In their case, fortunately, they don't read them because they're pretty bad. It's a series of bold promises that we will swiftly implement when you give us a Republican House. And Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. We
I do
our
hope
great
House and
Speaker
Senate
of the
too.
House with us tonight, Mr.
Just
Speaker.
bolster the numbers
Thank
a
you
bit,
very
you know?
much.
Yeah.
Thank you. A Republican Senate, we have many senators here. And send me back to our beautiful White House just a few short months from now. We're talking about just months. It can't come fast enough. We have to get it done. First, we must get economic relief to our citizens. Starting on day one, we will drive down prices and make America affordable again. We have to make it affordable. It's not affordable. People can't live like this. Under this administration, our current administration, groceries are up 57%, gasoline is up 60 and 70%, mortgage rates have quadrupled. And the fact is, it doesn't matter what they are because you can't get the money anyway. You can't buy houses. Young people can't get any financing to buy a house. The total household costs have increased an average of $28,000 per family under this administration. Republicans have a plan to bring down prices and bring them down very, very rapidly. By slashing energy costs, we will in turn reduce the cost of transportation, manufacturing, and all household goods. So much starts with energy. And remember, we have more liquid gold under our feet than any other country by far. We are a nation that has the opportunity to make an absolute fortune with its energy. We have it, and China doesn't. Under the Trump administration, just 3.5 years ago, we were energy independent, but soon we will actually be better than that. We will be energy dominant and supply not only ourselves, but we will supply the rest of the world with numbers that nobody has ever seen, and we will reduce our debt, $36 trillion. We will start reducing that, and we will also reduce your taxes still further. Next, and by the way, they want to raise your taxes 4 times, think of it. And all my life, I grew up watching politicians. I always loved politics. I guess I was on the other side. I'd watch and they were always talking about, we will give you a tax cut. We will give you a tax cut. My whole life I was watching, I will give you a tax cut, right, Mr. Congressman? That's all they talked about. This is the only administration that said, we're going to raise your taxes by 4 times what you're paying now, and people are supposed to vote for them? I've never heard it. You're paying too much.
That is a very good
We're
point.
gonna reduce your
I feel like
taxes.
he's off script right now, and it's
I
think so,
The
too.
biggest one, as I said, we're going to give you more.
But that's best Trump.
And it's going to
Yep,
lead
it
to
is.
tremendous growth. We
I mean, it
want
saved
growth
his life.
in our country. That's what's
For
going to
real.
pay off our debt.
Him going off script, 100%
Saved his life.
saved his life.
And next, we will end the ridiculous.
He was not
and
supposed to be looking at those
actually
charts. Those
incredible
charts were
waste
supposed to be at the end
taxpayer
of
dollars
his
that is
speech.
fueling the inflation crisis. They spent trillions of dollars on things having to do with the Green New Scam. It's a scam. And that's caused tremendous inflationary pressures in addition to the cost of energy. And all of the trillions of dollars that are sitting there not yet spent, we will redirect that money for important projects like roads, bridges, dams, and we will not allow it to be spent on meaningless Green New Scam ideas. And I will end the electric vehicle mandate on day 1. Thereby saving the U.S. auto industry from complete obliteration, which is happening right now, and saving U.S. customers thousands and thousands of dollars per car. And right now, as we speak, large factories just started are being built across the border in Mexico. So with all the other things happening on our border, and they're being built by China to make cars and to sell them into our country, no tax, no anything. The United Auto Workers ought to be ashamed for allowing this to happen. And the leader of the United Auto Workers should be fired immediately. And every single auto worker, union and non-union, should be voting for Donald Trump, because we're going to bring back car manufacturing, and we're going to bring it back fast.
Imagine a Detroit resurgence.
They're building some of the largest auto plants anywhere in the world. Think of it, in the world. We're going to bring it back. We're going to make them. We don't mind that happening, but those plants are going to be built in the United States, and our people are going to man those plants.
Okay, good.
Good Trump.
And if they don't agree with us, we'll put a tariff of approximately 100 to 200% on each car, and they will be unsellable in the United States. We have long been taken advantage of by other countries. And think of it, oftentimes these other countries are considered so-called allies. They've taken advantage of us for years. We lose jobs, we lose revenue, and they gain everything and wipe out our businesses, wipe out our people. I stopped it for 4 years. I stopped it, and we're really ready to make changes like nobody had seen before. And remember, a USMCA, I got rid of NAFTA, the worst trade deal ever made, and replaced it with USMCA, which is, they say, the best trade deal ever made. Actually, probably the best trade deal was the deal I made with China, where they buy $50 billion worth of our product. They were buying nothing. They buy $50 billion worth. They had to. But I don't even talk about it because of COVID. I don't even mention it, frankly, because of what happened with the China virus.
Classic point.
Yep.
We will not let countries come in, take our jobs, and plunder our nation. They come and do that. They plunder our nation. The way they will sell their product in America is to build it in America. Very simple. Build it in America and only in America. And this very simple formula, and Congress has to go along with us, and they will. This very simple formula will create massive numbers of jobs. We will take over the auto industry again, and many, many hundreds of thousands of jobs. We lost so many jobs over the years. If you go back 20, 25 years, they've stolen, going to China and Mexico, about 68% of our auto industry manufacturing jobs. We're going to get them all back. We're going to get them all back, every one of them. At the center of our plan for economic relief are massive tax cuts for workers that include something else that's turned out to be very popular, actually. Here it's very popular in this building and all those hotels that I saw that are so nice. I'm staying in a nice one. It's called no tax on tips. No tax on tips.
Which is genius.
No tax.
It is
on
genius.
tips.
But I you know my feelings. I wish it was on everything.
Yeah, nope, I agree. Baby steps.
Baby steps, we agree.
I got that by having dinner recently in Nevada, where we're leading by about 14 points. Hello.
Looks at the delegation.
Now we're having dinner at a beautiful restaurant in the Trump building on the Strip, and it's a great building. And the waitress comes over. How's everything going? Really nice person. How's everything? Oh, sir, it's so tough. The government's after me all the time on tips. I said, well, they give you cash. Would they be able to find him? She said, actually, and I didn't know this. She said, very little cash is given. It's all put right on the check. And they come in and they take so much of our money. It's just ridiculous. And they don't believe anything we say. And they've just hired, as you know, 88,000 agents to go after them even more.
Harris. Yeah.
And I said, this shows the level of my, most people go out, they hire consultants, they pay millions of dollars. But I said to her, let me just ask you a question. Would you be happy if you had no tax on tips? She said, what a great idea. I got my information from a very smart waitress. That's better than spending millions of dollars.
He's right, though.
Absolutely.
You don't need $1 billion think tank.
Waitresses and caddies and drivers.
Listen to the people.
You just got to talk to people, everyday people.
Large group of people that are being really hurt badly. They make money and let them keep their money. I'm going to protect Social Security and Medicare. Democrats are going to destroy Social Security and Medicare because all of these people, by the millions they're coming in, they're going to be on Social Security and Medicare and other things, and you're not able to afford it. They are destroying your Social Security and your Medicare. Under my plan, incomes will skyrocket, inflation will vanish completely, jobs will come roaring back, and the middle class will prosper like never, ever before, and we're going to do it very rapidly. But no hope or dream we have for America can succeed unless we stop the illegal immigrant invasion, the worst that's ever been seen anywhere in the world. There's never been an invasion like this anywhere. Third world countries would fight with sticks and stones not to let this happen.
B replied to me on Twitter.
The invasion at our southern border, we will stop it, and we will stop it quickly. You heard Tom Homan yesterday.
Moving up.
Tom Homan, put him in charge. And
Dan Dillon, the CEO. So he posted a screenshot of the redheaded libertarian.
The Border Patrol,
she ratioed Harry Sisson 15,000 likes to his 3.1 thousand likes.
They're patriots. Brendan Judd, Border Patrol.
So he goes,
ICE goes out. You have to see what ICE
she hit him with a 5-to-1 ratio. That's brutal. I go, he deserved it. Not the B said, he always does.
I know a lot of people in these rows here, and they're very tough people, but they don't want to do this job.
I'm going to go grab a drink.
We'll go into a pack of MS-13 killers. They're the worst. Probably the worst gangs in the world. We have thousands of them. I moved thousands and thousands out in my 4 years. We moved them out, and it was a pleasure. But ICE would go right into a pack of these killers, and you see fists flying, you see everything flying, and then they take them. They put them in a paddy wagon. They take them back, and they get them out of our country. And the other countries weren't accepting them back, and I called up, and I said, tell them that we're not giving them economic aid anymore. And the next day, I got calls from all of these countries that were terminated. Billions of dollars we spend on economic aid to countries that does us, frankly, no good. And the next day, I was called by everybody. I couldn't take all the calls. Sir, what's the problem? I said, you won't take your killers back that you sent in caravans into America. You won't take them back. Well, sir, if you'd like us to, we would give very serious consideration to doing that. And within 24 hours, they were being taken back. For years and years, when I first came in, they said President Obama tried to get him to go back, and they wouldn't accept him. They'd put planes on the runway so you couldn't leave the plane. They'd close the road so you couldn't take the buses. They'd all have to turn back. As soon as I said no more economic aid of any kind to any country that does that, they called back and they said, sir, it would be our great honor to take MS-13. We love them very much.
Man, running a country like you do a business.
We'll
Wild concept.
At the heart of the Republican platform is our pledge to end this border nightmare and fully restore the sacred and sovereign borders of the United States of America. And we're going to do that on day one. That means two things on day one, right? Drill, baby, drill, and close our borders. And by the way, and I think everybody as a Republican, as a patriot in this room, and most Democrats, we want people to come into our country, but they have to come into our country legally.
Yes.
Legally.
You got just common sense.
What a concept. Like
Less than 4 years ago, I handed this administration the strongest border in American history. But you can see on the chart that saved my life, that was the chart that saved my life. I said, look it, I'm so proud of it. I think it's one of the greatest. It was done by the Border Patrol, one of the greatest charts I've ever seen. It showed everything just like that. You know the chart. Oh, there it is. That's pretty
right,
good.
Sergeant
Wow.
Potato. He's like, whoa.
Last time I put up that chart, I never really got to look at it.
Oh, some
But
dark
without
humor.
that chart, I would not be here today.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very true. So, I mean,
amen to that.
Never got to
I'm
look
just going
at
to throw
it.
this one out there. If it wasn't for Biden's illegal immigration, I mean, you could argue in a couple different ways.
I said, you got to see this chart. I was so proud of it. And by the time I got to there, I never got to see it that day. But I'm seeing it now, and I was very proud. If you look at the arrow in the bottom, that's the lowest level, the one on the bottom, heavy red arrow. That's the lowest level
glad he's
of
bringing this up
illegal
in this
immigrants
one.
ever to come
Same.
into our country and record it.
I don't know that he
Right
would have
there.
before.
Right there.
Well, it wouldn't have been as
Before the
pertinent.
And
Yeah,
that was
right.
my last week in office. And then you see what happened after I left. Look at the rest. And if you go out a little bit further, it's getting to be a little bit old, but I love it anyway, right? But you can go much higher with those numbers. Look what happened right after that. The invasion began. We had the opposite. We stopped the invasion, but the invasion that we stopped was peanuts by comparison to what happened after I left. Look at what happened after I left. They took over our country. We ended all catch and release. We shut down asylum fraud. We stopped human trafficking and forged historic agreements to keep illegal aliens on foreign soil. We want them to stay on their soil. Under the Trump administration, if you came in illegally, you were apprehended immediately and you were deported. You went right back. The current administration terminated every single one of those great Trump policies that I put in place to seal the border. I wanted a sealed border. Again, come in, but come in legally. You know how unfair it is? So many people, hundreds of thousands of people, have been working for years to come into our country. And now they see these people pour into our country at levels that are unprecedented. It's so unfair. And we're not going to do it. We're not going to stand for it. They suspended wall construction, ended remain in Mexico. We had
Trying to
policy,
figure out
remain
Harry's
in
system
Mexico.
blocked
I think
me.
that was easy to get from the Mexican government, but I said, you must give it to us. If you don't
It
give
won't
it
load
to us,
for me.
there will be repercussions.
I can see
if they give
Josie's
it to
tweet,
us.
but I can't see that
Not
his
easy.
tweet to, and
Canceled
her.
our
I can see her
safeguard
reply to him. I
agreement.
just can't see the parent tweet.
Demolished Title 42, implemented nationwide catch and release. That's catch and release, where we catch them and release them into our country. We catch them
Doesn't look like I'm
and
blocked.
release them into Mexico.
I wonder if he deleted
It's
it.
Slight difference. And took 93. This is the previous administration 93 executive actions to throw open
No,
our
it's still
border
there.
to the
I
world.
don't
The
know.
entire world is
Weird.
pouring into our country because of this
17,000
very
likes.
foolish administration. The greatest invasion in history is taking place right here in our country. They are coming in from every corner of the earth, not just from South America, but from Africa, Asia, the Middle East. They're coming
Yes.
from everywhere. They're coming at levels that we've never seen before. It is an invasion indeed, and this administration does absolutely nothing to stop them. They're coming from prisons. They're coming from jails. They're coming from mental institutions and insane asylums. You know, the press is always on me because I say this. Has anyone seen Silence of the Lambs? The late, great Hannibal Lecter. He'd love to have you for dinner.
Holy crap.
That's insane asylums. They're emptying out their insane asylums.
Oh my God.
And terrorists are coming in at numbers that we've never seen before. Bad things are going to happen. Meanwhile, our crime rate is going up while crime statistics all over the world are going down because they're taking their criminals and they're putting them into our country. A certain country, and I happen to like the president of that country very much, but he's been getting great publicity because he's a wonderful shepherd of the country. He says how well the country's doing because their crime rate is down. And he said he's training all of these rough people. They're rough.
Dude, what are you doing,
He's
bud?
training them. And I've been reading about this for 2 years. I think, oh, that's wonderful. Let's take a look at it. But then I realized he's not training them. He's sending all of his criminals, his drug dealers, his people that are in jails. He's sending them all to the United States. And he's different in that he doesn't say that. He's trying to convince everybody what a wonderful job he does in running the country. Well, he doesn't do a wonderful job. And by the way, if I ran one of the countries, many countries from all over, I would be worse than any of them. I would have had the place totally emptied out already. But we become a dumping ground for the rest of the world, which is laughing at us. They think we're stupid. And they can't believe that they're getting away with what they're getting away with, but they're not going to be getting away with it for long. That's what I can tell you. In Venezuela, Caracas, high crime.
This just got interesting. He's talking about Silence of the Lambs.
Caracas, Venezuela. Really a dangerous place, but not anymore. Because in Venezuela, crime is down 72%. In fact, if they would ever win this election, I hate to even say that, we will have our next Republican convention in Venezuela because it will be safe. Our cities will be so unsafe, we won't be able. We will not be able to have it there. In El Salvador, murders are down by 70%. Why are they down? Now, he would have you convinced that because he's trained murderers to be wonderful people. No. They're down because they're sending their murderers to the United States of America. This is going to be very bad. And bad things are going to happen, and you're seeing it happen all the time. That's why, to keep our families safe, the Republican platform promises to launch the largest deportation operation in the history of our country. Even larger than that of President Dwight D. Eisenhower from many years ago. You know, he was a moderate, but he believed very strongly in borders. He had the largest deportation operation we've ever had. Just recently, I spoke to the grieving mother of Jocelyn Nungary, a wonderful woman, a precious 12-year-old girl from Houston who last month was tied up, assaulted, and strangled to death after walking to the convenience store just a block away from her house. Her body was dumped near the side of the road in a shallow creek, found by some onlookers who couldn't believe what they had witnessed. Charged with Jocelyn's heinous murder are 2 illegal aliens from Venezuela who came across our border, were in custody, and were then released into the country by this horrible, horrible administration that we have right now. I also met recently with the heartbroken mother and sister.
Wait until I tell you what the media is
Rachel
already
Martin.
talking about.
Rachel
Trump's
was
speech.
a 37-year-old mom of 5 beautiful children who was brutally raped and murdered while out on a run. She wanted to keep herself in good shape. It was very important to her. She was murdered. The monster responsible first killed another woman in El Salvador before he was led into America by the White House. This White House let them in. He then attacked a 9-year-old girl and her mother in a home invasion in Los Angeles before murdering Rachel in Maryland. Traveled all throughout the country, doing tremendous damage. Rachel's mother will never be the same. I spent time with her. She will never be the same. I've also met with the wonderful family of Laken Riley, the brilliant 22-year-old nursing student. She was so proud of being first in her class, who was out for a jog on the campus of the University of Georgia when she was assaulted, beaten, and horrifically killed. Yet another American life was stolen by a criminal alien set free by this administration. And these were incredible people we're talking about. These were incredible people who died. Tonight, America, this is my vow. I will not let these killers and criminals into our country.
Just some fighting words, Sturd.
Nah,
I will
medieval
keep our
MMA.
sons and daughters safe.
Let the best turn will win.
As we bring security to our streets, we will help bring stability to the world. I was the first president in modern times to start no new wars. You know, we were the toughest. We were the most respected. And you saw this. Hungry, strong country run by very powerful, tough leaders. Tough guy. Press doesn't like him because he's tough. And he came out recently. They were asking him at an interview, the whole world is exploding. What's happening? What's going on? Viktor Orban, Prime Minister of Hungary, very tough man. He said, I don't want people coming into my country and blowing up our shopping centers and killing people. But they said to him, tell us what's going wrong, what's happening, what is it? He said, there's only one way you're going to solve it. You got to bring President Trump back to the United States because he kept everybody at bay. True. He used a word I wouldn't use because I can't use that word. Because you'd say it was braggadocious. The press would say he was a braggart. I'm not a braggart. But Viktor Orban said it. He said Russia was afraid of him. China was afraid of him. Everybody was afraid of him. Nothing was going to happen. The whole world was at peace. And now the world is blowing up around us. All of these things that you read about were not going to happen. Under President Bush, Russia invaded Georgia. Under President Obama, Russia took Crimea. Under the current administration, Russia is after all of Ukraine. Under President Trump, Russia took nothing.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I love that he's just being I don't care anymore. He's just, nope.
Yep. I mean, just spitting facts.
Yeah.
We defeated 100% of ISIS in Syria and Iraq. Something that was said to take 5 years, sir. It'll take 5 years, sir. We did it in a matter of a couple of months. We have a great military. Our military is not woke. It's just some of the fools on top that are woke.
Yeah, true. The fools in power.
Yeah.
I got along very well. North Korea, Kim Jong-un, I got along very well with him. The press hated when I said that. How could you get along with him? Well, you know, it's nice to get along with somebody who has a lot of nuclear weapons or otherwise, isn't it? See, in the old days, they'd say, that's a wonderful thing. Now they say, how could you possibly do that? But no, I got along with them, and we stopped the missile launches from North Korea. Now North Korea is acting up again, but when we get back, I get along with him. He'd like to see me back, too. I think he misses me, if you want to know the truth.
Just picturing him in his room.
World at peace and turned it into a planet of war. We're in a planet of war. Look at that attack on Israel. Look at what's happening with Ukraine. The cities are just bombed out. How can people live like that where buildings, massive buildings are falling to the ground? It began to unravel with the disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan, the worst humiliation in the history of our country. We have never had a humiliation like that. 13 heroic U.S. service members were tragically and needlessly killed. 45 others were horrifically wounded. Nobody ever talks about them. No arms, no legs, face explosions, horrifically wounded. And by the way, we have a man in this room who's running for the U.S. Senate from a great state, Nevada, named Sam Brown, who paid the ultimate price.
Injured veteran.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Sam. Thank you. He paid the biggest price probably ever paid by anybody that is running for office, and I think he's going to do great. He's running against a person that is not good, not respected, a total lightweight. But Sam, I think, paid really, we were talking about it with some of the senators that are working so hard for Sam, but he paid the biggest price of any senator ever to run for the Senate. I don't think anybody's ever what he did. He was a real hero, a really great person, and he's running, and I hope that everybody gets out and votes for Sam Brown.
Pretty big shout out. That is
a very big.
Also left behind $85 billion worth of military equipment, along with many American citizens were left behind. Many American citizens, emboldened by that disaster, Russia invaded Ukraine. They saw this group of people that were incompetent. We took the soldiers out first. No, we're going to take the soldiers out second. If they would have followed my plan, we had a great plan. But the plan only kicked in if they did everything perfectly, and they weren't doing things perfectly, so we said it doesn't kick in. 18 months in Afghanistan, we didn't have one, so they were killing them left and right, snipers. And I spoke to the head of the Taliban. You've heard this story. Abdul, still there, still the head of the Taliban. The press got on me. Why would you speak to him? I said, because that's where the killing is. I don't have to speak to somebody that has nothing to do with it. And I told him, don't ever do that. Don't ever do that again. Don't ever do that again. You got to stop. Because during the Obama administration, many great people and soldiers, a lot of soldiers were being killed from long distance. I said, if you keep doing that, you're going to be hit harder than anybody's ever been hit by a country before. And he said, I understand, Your Excellency. He called me Your Excellency. I wonder if he calls the other guy Your Excellency. I doubt it.
Oh my God.
I love how he went off script. He's off script now.
Yeah, he's 100% off script.
You know that right now Afghanistan is one of the largest sellers of weapons in the world. They're selling the brand new beautiful weapons that we gave them. But think of it. He actually said to me, but why do you show me a picture of my home? I said, you'll have to ask your people or one of your wives. But he could figure it out. And for 18 months, we had not one attack on an American soldier by the Taliban. 18 months. And then we had that horrible day where soldiers were killed. I was not there because of a ridiculous election. But we had that horrible attack.
Jesus Christ, man.
They also gave up Bagram, one of the biggest bases anywhere in the world, air bases anywhere in the world, the longest runways, most powerful, hardened, thickened runways. We gave it up. And I liked it not because of Afghanistan. I liked it because of China. It's 1 hour away from where China makes their nuclear weapons. And you know who has it now? China has it now. We were keeping that. And now China is likewise circling Taiwan, and Russian warships and nuclear submarines are operating 60 miles off the coast in Cuba. Do you know that? No, the press refuses to write about it. If that were me running this country and we had nuclear submarines in Cuba, I will tell you that the headlines every day would be, what's wrong with our president? You don't even hear this. You're not hearing about this. Russia has nuclear submarines and warships 60 miles away, Mr. Congressman, from Miami, by the way, happens to be here. Correct? In Cuba. And that would not be stood for if it were somebody else. They don't want to mention it, but now maybe they will. And the entire world, I tell you this, we want our hostages back, and they better be back before I assume office, or you will be paying a very big price.
I believe he'll actually get them back, though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
With our victory in November, the years of war, weakness, and chaos will be over. I don't have wars. I had no wars other than ISIS, which I defeated, but that was a war that was started. We had no wars. I could stop wars with a telephone call. I could stop wars with just a telephone.
He has evidence to back that up.
Properly stated, it would never start. We will replenish our military and build an Iron Dome missile defense system to ensure that no enemy can strike our homeland. And this great Iron Dome will be built entirely in the USA. We're going to build it in the USA. And Wisconsin, just like I gave you that massive ship contract, and you're doing a very nice job, Governor, right? Thank you, Governor. And they're doing a great job. In fact, I had a little design change, and we gave them a tremendous for essentially what we used to call destroyers. These are now the most beautiful. They look like yachts. I said, we have to take the bow and we have to make it a little nicer and a little point at the top instead of a flat nose.
I'm glad Trump is being himself again.
I said, this guy sort of knows what he's doing. We have the most beautiful ships, right, Governor? And everybody's sitting over there. And it was a big contract that everybody wanted. I gave it to Wisconsin, but we're going to have a lot of that built right here in the state of Wisconsin and all other states. Israel has an Iron Dome. They have a missile defense system. 342 missiles were shot into Israel, and only one got through a little bit. It was badly wounded. It fell to the ground, but most of them are. And Ronald Reagan wanted this many years ago, but we really didn't have the technology many years ago.
True.
What do they call it? Starship, spaceship, anything to mock him. But he was a very good president, very, very good. But now we have unbelievable technology. And why should other countries have this and we don't? No, we're going to build an Iron Dome over our country, and we're going to be sure that nothing can come and harm our people. And again, from an economic development standpoint, we're going to make it all right here. No more sending it out to other countries in order to help. It's America first. America first. We will unleash the power of American innovation. And as we do, we will soon be on the verge of finding the cures to cancer, Alzheimer's disease, and many other diseases. We're going to get to the bottom of it. You remember this gentleman that I don't want to mention other than one time I had to, because when you say you're the 10 worst, I had to do it. Didn't want anybody to be confused. But this man said, we're going to find a cure to cancer. Nothing happened. We're going to get to the cure for cancer and Alzheimer's and so many other things. We're so close to doing something.
I love how you put an Alzheimer's in there.
We need a leader that will let it be done. We will not have men playing in women's sports. That will end immediately. And we will restore and renovate our nation's once great cities, making them safe, clean, and beautiful again. And that includes our nation's capital, which is a horrible killing field. So many things. They leave from Wisconsin. They go to look at the Washington Monument. They end up getting stabbed, killed, or shot. We will be very soon very proud of our capital. Again, Washington, D.C.
Yeah, DC is so dangerous.
America is on the cusp of a new golden age, but we will have the
I had a
courage
layover
to
there back
seize
in
it.
December.
We're going to take it. We're going to
Had to
make
stay
it
the
a
night in
current. I
DC.
mean, we're going to
Oof.
bring this into a
Couldn't pay me.
golden age like never seen before. Remember this?
Had a
China
really
wants to
nice
do
hotel
it,
room that was
Japan wants
comped to me,
do it,
though.
All of these
It was really
countries
nice.
want to do it. We have to produce massive amounts of energy if we're going to produce.
Had like a living room.
If you look at some
Yeah,
of the
sweet.
things that have been done,
Yeah,
and some of the things that we're going to do,
I never
but
stayed in one before.
AI needs
Okay, fair.
tremendous.
Kind of blew my mind.
Literally twice the electricity that's available now in our country. Can you imagine? But instead, we're spending places where they recharge electric cars. They built 8 chargers at a certain location toward the Midwest. 8 chargers for $9 billion. Think of them as a tank for filling up your gas. Think of it. They spent $9 billion on 8 chargers, 3 of which didn't work. And if you were going to do this all over our country, this crazy electric mandate, if you're going to do this all, and by the way, I'm all for electric. They have their application. But if somebody wants to buy a gas-powered car, gasoline-powered car, or a hybrid, they're going to be able to do it. And we're going to make that change on day 1.
Fair. Let the market decide.
Yeah, freedom.
So to conclude, just a few short days ago, my journey with you nearly ended. We know that. And yet, here we are tonight, all gathered together, talking about the future, promise, and a total renewal of a thing we love very much. It's called America. We live in a world of miracles. None of us knows God's plan or where life's adventure will take us. I want to thank Franklin Graham for being here tonight. He's an outstanding man. He wrote me a note recently. I have a lot of respect for him. Sir, I love your
It's a funny story.
storytelling. I think it's great in front of these big
really
rallies.
funny.
Sir, please do me one favor. It won't make any difference. Please don't use any
swear.
foul language. I was a little embarrassed. I said, he said, it won't make any difference. Actually, it does. The story's not quite as good, but I've been very good. The story is not quite as good, to be honest. I've got to have a little talk with Franklin, but he was great. He's a great gentleman. His father was
He's like,
so
look,
incredible.
sometimes you gotta swear.
My father used to love taking me to see Billy Graham. My father would take me to see Billy Graham at Yankee Stadium. He had the biggest rallies you've ever seen. He was a good rally guy, too. But he'd get up, and he was a fantastic guy. My father loved Billy Graham. But I love Franklin Graham. I think Franklin's been fantastic, and I'm working so hard to adhere to his note to me. I'm working hard on it, Franklin. But if the events of last Saturday make anything clear, it is that every single moment we have on earth is a gift from God. We have to make the most of every day for the people and for the country that we love. The attacker in Pennsylvania wanted to stop our movement, but the truth is the movement has never been about me. It has always been about you. It's your movement. It's the biggest movement in the history of our country by far. Can't be stopped. It can't be stopped. It has always been about the hardworking, patriotic citizens of America. For too long, our nation has settled for too little. We settled for too little. We've given everything to other nations, to other people. You've been told to lower your expectations and to accept less for your families. I am here tonight with the opposite message. Your expectations are not big enough. Not big enough. It is time to start expecting and demanding the best leadership in the world, leadership that is bold, dynamic, relentless, and fearless. We can do that. We are Americans. Ambition is our heritage. Greatness is our birthright. But as long as our energies are spent fighting each other, our destiny will remain out of reach and that's not acceptable. We must instead take that energy and use it to realize our country's true potential and write our own thrilling chapter of the American story. We can do it together. We will unite. We are going to come together, and success will bring us together. It is a story of love, sacrifice, and so many other things. And remember the word devotion. It's unmatched devotion. Our American ancestors crossed the Delaware, survived the icy winter at Valley Forge, and defeated a mighty empire to establish our cherished republic. They fought so hard, they lost so many. They pushed thousands and thousands of miles across a dangerous frontier.
Sorry, makes me all happy and warm inside.
To build a life and a magnificent home for their family. They packed their families into covered wagons, trekked across hazardous trails, scaled towering mountains, and braved rivers and rapids to stake their claim on the wide open, new, and very beautiful frontier. When our way of life was threatened, American patriots marched onto the battlefield, raced into enemy strongholds, and stared down death and stared down those enemies to keep alive the flame of freedom. At Yorktown, Gettysburg, and Midway, they joined the roll call of immortal heroes. So many heroes, so many great, great people. And we have to cherish those people. We can't forget those people. We have to cherish those people. And building monuments to those great people is a good thing, not a bad thing. They saved our country. No challenge was too much. No hardship was too great. No enemy was too fierce. Together, these patriots soldiered on and endured, and they prevailed because they had faith in each other, faith in their country, and above all, they had faith in their God. Just like our ancestors, we must now come together, rise above past differences. Any disagreements have to be put aside and go forward, united as one people, one nation, pledging allegiance to one great, beautiful, I think it's so beautiful, American flag. Tonight I ask for your partnership, for your support, and I am humbly asking for your vote. I want your vote. Gonna make our country great again. Every day I will strive to honor the trust you have placed in me, and I will never, ever let you down. I promise that. I will never let you down. To all of the forgotten men and women who have been neglected, abandoned, and left behind, you will be forgotten no longer. We will press forward, and together we will win, win, win. Win, 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 win. Nothing will sway us, nothing will slow us, and no one will ever stop us. No matter what dangers come our way, no matter what obstacles lie in our path, we will keep striving toward our shared and glorious destiny, and we will not fail. We will not fail. Together, we will save this country. We will restore the republic, and we will usher in the rich and wonderful tomorrows that our people so truly deserve. America's future will be bigger, better, bolder, brighter, happier, stronger, freer, greater, and more united than ever before.
Still want that Band-Aid to come off.
I know, just there's still time.
And quite simply put, we will very quickly make America great again. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Wisconsin. God bless you. God bless you,
What a
Wisconsin, and
speech.
God bless the United States of America, our great country. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
That was, yeah.
Yeah. Off script for quite a
times.
bit.
Well, at appropriate times, I think.
I think at appropriate times, but simultaneously,
you know, I've watched a couple of Trump speeches before. You know, rally speeches. You know, speeches like this. This was a different speech.
yes, because normally he focuses on the attack. Normally, it's very attack. This was much more policy.
Well, it was a different speech because I feel like after Saturday he's a different man.
I think you're right.
I think he's a different man in the terms of, I think he understands things. I think like I'm kind of struggling to really put
words,
put a point to it. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just like no one thought this was going to happen. I mean, dude's got like supposedly the best Secret Service, you know, in the world. I mean, it's Donald Trump, right? And then this happens. Oh, confetti, nice. Or balloons.
Balloons, yeah, balloons.
Yep. But it's just like I feel like he's Donald Trump. But when I say he's a different man, I mean like it seemed like he had a slight different demeanor to how he was delivering his message tonight.
Do you think it's more that he understands what's truly at stake? And before it was policy wise, and now he's realizing not only policy, but he's realizing the severity of how far people will go to stop not just those policies, but himself. So it's like a personal stake in it now.
Yeah, I think he has a better appreciation for what he's fighting for now.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'd agree with that. I would definitely agree with that. Also, I just want to point out this speech was, I'm going to say Shell, you had the exact time prior. I don't know if you have the exact conclusive time, but I'd say about an hour and a half, right?
I wanted to say, yeah, if not slightly more.
Yeah. And which I would
do see it.
134.
I was going to say, I do see on Twitter, some people are like, great speech, a little too long though. Which I mean, honestly, like this is one of Donald Trump's best speeches, like if not his best yet. I mean, he's given thousands of speeches.
If Saturday didn't happen, it would not have been this long.
It would not have been this impactful, I don't think, or long. I think I would agree with that. It was probably going to be about an hour, but I mean, like I think he spent a good 15-20 minutes talking about the events on Saturday.
Yeah, he did. He spent like a decent amount of time also explaining exactly how it happened, what he did.
Yep. So I mean, like I feel like it would have likely been around an hour, give or take. But because of those events, excuse me, likely, you know, he wanted to add that in for sure.
I think he had to. There's no way you can avoid it.
How do you not? That? Yeah. And I'm actually, you know, I kept saying, you know, I just wanted to take the bandage off, you know, because I wanted the, you know, America to see a scar, you know, it's like, you know, I got this, you know, because of this movement here, you know, because of what we started, and we're going to finish it. But part of me is also like, I'm kind of glad he didn't, because it's like, I don't want to take away from that moment right now. And right now, you know, him wearing that, I mean, it does solidify the moment that we are living in right now, and how crazy it was, how close it was. This is quarter of an inch away from all of this not occurring.
Yeah, of this being a very sad day.
Changing the course of history for all of America's history. for future, not America's history, America's future. I'm tired.
I mean, well, also, I want everybody to understand, we keep always saying, hey, guys, we're going to make the shows about 2.5 hours long.
It's always been our goal.
It's always been our goal. How long
always
has it
over
been,
3
Dalton?
hours. The first episode was about over 4 hours. The
Over
last
4
episode
hours.
was almost 4 hours. And this episode is about a little over 3 hours so far. And so, for everybody
Yeah.
who's still sticking in and listening and watching, thank you.
No,
That
genuinely.
means a lot to us. Yeah.
And
this is a brand new show. Brand new podcast.
Brand new show, brand new channel, brand new everything. We're still having a lot to learn, but I do think that we have improved each time. I hope.
I think so.
I
will admit today that yesterday I came prepared. I had notes, it was a little structured. I had no notes today. I was really busy today.
Well, also, I don't feel like today needed as many notes.
No, there was a couple of big significant things, but for the most part, I think we basically covered them. The only thing that I will say, earlier, we said that, oh God, now it's escaping me because I was thinking about it like 5 minutes ago. We had said that, sorry, I know exactly what I want to say, but I'm like, so the reason why I'm struggling right now is because I remember one tweet. So it's the Biden Harris. So we reported one of the very first things we reported was that Biden was likely to step down before Sunday.
Yes.
What I forgot to mention, and I can't remember if I did, maybe I did. The Biden administration, or the Biden campaign, I should say. Again, I'm tired. It's kind of late. It's getting late. The Biden administration or Biden campaign, they came out and denied that he's stepping down. And he denied all the rumors. Now, I will tell you this. I don't believe it.
I don't believe it either.
It's kind of funny because I think they're trying to unify their party right now in the most, like, they're the most ununified right now than they, I think, have been in a long time. Also,
let's just be real. I think that there was an air of denial around Biden's lack of cognitive function for a lot of people because people were covering his ass for so long and they just couldn't in that moment. It was impossible for them to. And since then, he has not made it better. He's only made it worse with every time he has spoken.
Yeah, I think, and I think Biden being as bad as he is now disqualifies Kamala Harris because she was in on it.
Yeah. But
I mean, everybody around him was in on it. Everybody, his entire cabinet, they read from scripts instead of actually, like, when the media was there, they read from scripts. It's like, it's so fake of an administration. It's not even funny. Well, it's laughable at times, but it's like everything is fake about this administration.
And a lot of their supporters too, because like Harry Sisson met with the governor of Pennsylvania, Shapiro, and he was given a script of questions to ask the governor. Yep. So it really is just, I think that what we said yesterday, the veil has been lifted from a lot. And I think that it's just so much harder for them to cover that anymore. So they're just trying to save face, but I don't think they know how.
Yeah, this is definitely the most challenging moment I think Democrats have had in a long time. Honestly, probably since JFK.
I would agree, but also considering that this might be another open convention is what it's looking like.
Yeah.
And that was
going to be really wild.
So we're talking about two pieces that are very, very well mirrored in history. Well, at least they rhyme. History rhymes.
I was going to say they rhyme a lot because it's when I say it's kind of like JFK for the Democrats, it's like it's because it's like, that was tragedy for them when JFK got shot and he died, and then Lyndon Baines Johnson took over, and it was a shakeup, pretty much. The course of history changed just right there, And so it's like, and then I can't remember exactly what it was. I think no, I can't remember exactly what it was, and I don't want to say something and embarrass myself. But I mean, at the end of the 60s, I believe that they had an open convention for their party, and it was likely due to JFK, Lyndon Baines Johnson, and stuff like that. So I mean, like, for them, it's for them it's that, but for Trump right now, it's like he survived an assassination attempt, and I mean, like, man, that's a very significant thing for the RNC right now, for the Republican Party right now. And so it's like I'm tired. I'm trying to figure out how to end this. It's like that Michael Scott meme where it's like I start talking and then I don't know how I'm gonna end it.
I mean, you could just end it with yep.
Yep. But like I guess to wrap it all up. I think that this is definitely like I think this is probably Trump's best speech, if not the top 3. Dalton is too young for me. What are you talking about? Turd, get out of here. Get out of here, Turd.
I will also say
I have no idea. Like I have no idea what you're meaning or referring to.
I would like to say, because Shell posted this, to help Mama's Alcohol Fund, you should share the channel so it can rake in money so I can get on the payroll. Now, here's the thing.
Very true.
If you guys understand anything about YouTube, we are not monetized whatsoever as of right now. Now, on my channel, we were, because my channel had previously been monetized. Here, it's not. This is a fresh channel, fresh everything.
We're just trying to build it.
And I just want to say this, and I'm sure Dalton also agrees with me, and I already know Dimmy does because I had this talk with Dimmy, that we all 1,000%, once monetization occurs on this channel, Shell is going to be on the payroll, and we are going to be funneling this into making this production better for everybody, just improving things on a massive scale. And we're going to try and do so in the meantime, regardless. But I just want you all to know we're not doing this for money. But that would eventually, obviously, be able to make it so Shell does have her alcohol fund, which she just so greatly deserves.
Yeah, I'll tell you guys this right now. I mean, right now we're just paying for StreamYard, and that's it right now. And so StreamYard allows us the ability to do all this cool stuff. We can chat with each other in a pretty easy way. I mean, we could do this in OBS, but it would just be harder. I mean,
way harder.
It would be a lot trickier, not as smooth. It
would be sloppy.
It's very smooth right now. It's very smooth right now, and I like that. And we can easily invite anyone to be a part of the show. Whenever
with a link.
Just with a link, yeah. And speaking of guests, next week you guys are gonna be pretty happy with somebody. I think we're gonna have on it. I think it's gonna be a really cool time.
Yes.
Yep. So, yeah, go for it.
I was just gonna say, so while this whole RNC thing has been going on, I did see somebody in the chat ask if we are going to be doing this for the DNC as well, to cover the DNC.
The plan is,
why are we big? There we go. We were too big. I hit the wrong one. Yep. That was me.
All right. Didn't mean to scare you guys with our faces.
Yeah, we're big now. Anyway, so we are going to be doing this with the DNC, though. Dalton, I know that you also will be having
I don't want to talk about it right now. I don't want to talk about it right now publicly.
Yeah,
We'll figure it all out. I'm going to try my hardest to help TAC cover it, but if not, then I'm sure TAC and probably even Demi, maybe even some other guests will help cover it.
No matter what, it will be covered. It's just a matter of who's going to be on the host structure because of some things that might or might not involve furries.
I'm going to deny that.
You can deny it all you want. We know it's true.
I did. So a couple comments came in that I want to address real quick.
Go for it.
This is hilarious. Thank you, Gary. Why, Gary? Why?
Why, Gary? Why?
We love you, Dalton, but you're starting to sound like Biden. Go to sleep, bro.
Yes.
I need some sleep. Thank you. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I am pulling.
Convention's over. We're gonna sleep.
Yep. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. It's gonna be really nice to. I'm glad Trump talked as long as he did because it meant that we didn't have to talk and lose our voices more. So
it's feeling better already.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're gonna take the next couple days off. We'll probably be back sometime next week, and I think the plan is to do just a weekly show, just one show a week. And it's gonna be cool. We have a lot of cool ideas, a lot of cool plans.
Yes.
Another comment. Carson Dalton is probably a cuddler, but probably a good cook. He would probably even bring you flowers and write you a song.
I do feel like that's true.
For a certain person, maybe.
Yeah, well, for the right person. For the right person.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: you never give your all unless you're trying to commit, right? You do look like somebody who's wanting to commit, though. I feel like you know what?
Yeah,
Carson,
I'd love to have a family.
Yeah, hit Dalton up. Maybe you guys can have a beautiful family together. Dalton is looking
how to
at me
respond
like
to
he wants
that.
to hit me, and also simultaneously like he's curious about what that would entail.
No and no. It's just funny, honestly. It's really funny. You guys are, you guys are a really funny chat.
Oh, we have a great chat. And you know, I say this on my channel. I'll also say it here. One thing we do have the benefit of is a wonderful community with everybody, jokes included and everything. A lot of channels out there get a lot of what I would call pushback or a lot of disagreement or even hate in comments. For the most part, I would say that we have some of the most wholesome yet psychotic people in the community, which we love and appreciate very much. Another comment I'd like to point out, we have now is that Iltak? I believe is how to pronounce that. I'm
I'm the worst at names.
I'm an autistic dyslexic, so that's what you're getting. What do you plan to cover or talk about in the weekly show? Anything in particular? So the weekly shows, and Dalton, correct me if I'm wrong here, will be a summation of the news of the week while also including culture-based guests, and also some mild autism with a bit of just what you'd come to expect from our live streams that are not as with the RNC. I feel like we did a lot of watching. With those, it's going to be a lot of talking, discussing, and then we will be showing you things intermittently as we go through.
Yep. For these last couple shows, it was mainly just covering the RNC because we felt like, especially after Saturday's events, it was too important not to cover. I mean, we covered the day of the assassination attempt, we covered it on Tax Channel. And then we made the decision, Insanity Developing Podcast was already an idea that we were working on.
Yeah.
And after the attempt on Trump's life, we were like, okay, kind of feel like it's the right time to launch this thing and just start off with this. So that's why we're a little unprepared on Monday, but I think it all went good.
Yeah.
We're getting some content out there, right away. I mean, when we're done with this, I immediately start downloading the audio, and I put it into the podcast so that it's available in everybody's feed almost, if not tonight, then it's the next day at the very latest. Yeah. And so, it's going to be a really cool thing. I think going forward, we have a lot of cool stuff planned. Again, we have some really cool guests planned. We have a list that's like 2 pages long of people we would love to have on that we think is actually pretty, we think it's viable. We think we can easily do it. And there's some really cool guests that you guys know and love and might not know, but will love.
Yes. From all over various industries, from various places in the world, some that you guys would be really interested in hearing about.
I mean, Tech listed off some people who I was like, holy crap, you know that? You're related to this person? What?
Yeah.
It's gonna be really, really cool stuff. You guys are really gonna enjoy it.
So I think it's time to wrap it up, though.
I think so.
Any final remark?
Well, yeah, I think what I would love to say is, again, like I said yesterday, we are a brand new podcast. The easiest thing that you can do to help us out, and it's completely free, is if you guys have a podcast service that you guys really like, either Apple Podcasts or Spotify or anything. I think iHeartRadio. I mean, there's probably some other things. We are likely on there, and if we're not on there yet, we will be. I'm slowly getting everything synced up and everything. But the easiest thing you can do to support us at the moment is like, share, subscribe to this channel. And then, just go to your favorite podcast service that you use and subscribe to us. You don't have to listen to it on there. Even if you listen to it on here, just subscribe to us and leave us a review. A review will help us a lot. It will help this not only this channel, but this. Yep, a review and a comment. Even if the comment is like, these guys are retards, I hate everything that they are, but it's a 5-star review, we'll take it. We're more than happy about that, honestly.
If it's a review hitting on Dalton.
Yep, exactly. Or tack.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, I mean, we've got a lot of cool things. Invite Brandon and Gonzalez to debate.
That would be
chaotic
hilarious.
mediators for that. We would be so chaotic, dude. I would love it.
I would actually love that. I would crave the violence in that, but still.
The metaphorical violence, yeah.
Sol Gazelle, I'm going to fight you one day.
Good night, my fellow Marine and Dalton.
I didn't serve. Stop it. But yes, I agree with Dalton. And also, if you are on the YouTube, make sure you like, share, comment, share it with your friends, share it with your family. Do all that stuff, all the algorithmic stuff. Even if you watched and you chatted the entire time, leave a comment, because that helps push it to more people and makes the YouTube overlord gods look down upon us and say, hey, this ain't shit. Yeah, so they're doing stuff.
Exactly.
So that would be greatly appreciated.
Exactly what Turd said. You guys are all turtly enough for the Turtle Club. Come join the Discord. It's Tax Discord, and I think we're setting up a little channel on there for Insanity Podcast.
Yes.
Insanity Developing Podcast. So it's going to be really cool. Come join the community. It's a lot of fun. I'm not a Discord guy, but I do find myself peeking in there from time to time, and I do share some cool memes. Yeah, I shared some cool memes today, I feel like. So yeah,
he's getting more Discordy with us.
I'm getting more involved. It's slow but surely, and it's gonna be really, really cool.
All right, but with that, everybody, make sure to drink some water before you get to bed, like Shell would tell you to do, so you don't get a hangover. Make sure to do all the things that we just told you to do. Make sure to follow both Dalton and I on our respective social medias, which I don't know why the little banner things aren't showing, but whatever. And
it's Shell's fault. We will have all the links in the description and everything.
Yes, but we love you. Have a good night, and we will see you next time.
Thanks, guys. Peace.